Hello, I'm HQ of HQ Reacts. If you find yourself here and you're not subscribed, please like, share, and subscribe. If you find me on other social media platforms, please follow me, like, share, and subscribe. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. So, you can catch me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Hello, I'm HQ of HQ Reacts. Hold on, y'all. Say, what's going on? Can y'all hear me now? Let's hope y'all can hear me now. We hoping so. So, the pro-black movement. You can hear me. Thank you. I don't know what the heck is going on with my computer. I have spent all morning trying to pull this together. It took my camera off, took my sound off, took everything off. I was like, what? What's going on? But I guess the pro-black term, it generally refers to a mindset of movement people have, actions supporting and uplifting black folk. This is what we want to talk about today. Affirming black identity. What does that mean to you? Supporting black empowerment. What does that mean? Fighting anti-black racism. But it's not about being against other races. That's not what it's about. Okay? It's about being pro-black, promoting economic, social, and political movements of black people. I haven't found that much on the internet. I was just curious about it. The subject was brought to me by Jay Tillman. And he said, let's do something about pro-black. Let's see what we have out there. It's not anti-white. Please don't think that. It's pro-black. Because you can be pro-white, just don't be anti-black. And in this movement, we advocate for justice, equality, and we're trying to dismantle white supremacy. What does all those things mean to you all? Okay? Being pro-black is not anti-white. It's about prioritizing and advocating for black equality on this planet. So we're not marginalized. Teaching our children about black historical figures, like not getting the Tuskegee Airmen, those kind of monuments taken down, taken out of the history. It's about the critical race theory. If you're pro-black, you would know what the critical race theory was all about, that they wanted to teach in schools. And they wanted to get rid of it, or they tried to get rid of it, or they gotten rid of it, so that we don't know the true history of being black people in this country. Okay? But the biggest factor is, are we promoting and celebrating black culture? Are we doing that? Heritage, contributions that we made in this society, encouraging black people, especially in the face of the things that are going on these days. Are we encouraging people to be to challenge the systematic oppression that we have in this country? The negative stereotypes. That statue in New York Central Park. People are upset about that. How many pro-black people do we got? Are you saying you're pro-black, or are you just pretending to be pro-black? Are we cosplaying? Are we teaching our children about black historical figures, like I said? Creating platforms, panels, channels related to black voices. Investing in black families, cultures, stores, all those kind of things. Are we doing those things? I'm not saying you got to go full pro-black and just can't nobody get in. That ain't what I'm saying. I want people to come up and explain, what does that mean to be pro-black? How can you be more pro-black? There's plenty of things that we can ask ourselves. We have pro-black movements in the United States. We do. It's not under a single organization, though. Black Lives Matter. We have economic empowerment, cultural, media representation. We have all these kind of things. Are we utilizing them to the best of our ability? Are we educating? Black-centered education, empowerment. Groups like the African American Culture and Heritage Foundation facility, teaching people what it means to be black. Criminal justice reform. Are we striving to get rid of that 3-strike mark? Things like that. Voting rights. Yeah, there's a lot of pro-black movements in the United States. And it's not under one umbrella. So this is where we're faltering. This is where we're failing. Can we have unity in that strength, in those movements? I don't know. So Jay came to me and he presented questions. About being pro-black. So I am going to let people come up if they want to come up, and we can have a discussion. Can we have a discussion about what it means to be pro-black, marriage-wise, race-wise, relationship-wise? Are you a colorist? Do you understand what that means? All of these things. We want to address some of these things today. And my co-host today, yeah, don't buck your eyes now. The co-host today is Jay Tillman. Hello, sir.
Hey, HQ, thank you for taking this challenge on.
Mm-hmm. We just got to get this panel popping. Who wants to talk about race? Difficult in the wake of black fatigue and white fatigue and you name it fatigue. And how do we address those issues?
Absolutely.
Right? Because we're not saying, I want to make it clear, we're not talking about anti-white. Let's make it very clear. We're not talking about that. We're talking about pro-black. So, with that being said, Jay, what do you define as pro-black? Seeing as how you have a unique perspective from that angle.
I describe it as um, pride in oneself as a black person in any aspect of culture and society, and holding yourself to a certain standard, and not allowing other people to dictate your blackness.
Mhm.
So blackness looks different for so many different types of people. It's not just all the stereotypical, you got to be from the hood, you got to be from this, there's a certain standard.
Right.
My blackness is not dictated by another person's standard. So no one can take my black card. It just
So
is what it is.
when people say, "Hey," oh Jay, you're echoing. Said something about your echoing. So when people say, "Hey," Jay can't be up here talking about pro-black and he ain't married to no black woman. What do you say about that, Jay? Oh, you got the echo. Wait a minute. Let me ask G Honda. G Honda? G Honda, sir.
Salute, y'all. How y'all doing today?
So, Jesus, you sound your echo your stuff sound real
Oh, that's
good
me?
today. Yeah, that's you. You sound good.
All right, I'm a back.
No. You sound good. I'm saying you sound very good.
No, I'm saying I hear myself echoing too.
Oh, okay. You do? Oh, shoot.
That's
No,
probably
okay.
me. So I'm back out and come back in.
Not if we both echoing.
I ain't doing that. I ain't doing nothing.
Is it coming through your speaker, HQ?
Yeah, it's coming through my speaker fine. I don't see how it's coming through. It's a lot of feedback. No,
It might be coming through your speaker and going back into your mic.
Who, mine?
Because I'm echoing the same way.
What am I doing wrong then? Audio. Reduce mic background sound, echo cancellation. So what am I supposed to be checked in this back? Because you guys sound fine to me. Who doesn't sound fine? I hear you go out and come back in.
Test. Yeah, I'm still hearing myself.
Test. Yeah.
Okay.
Still hearing myself too.
In the settings, what am I supposed to have checked for real? Because I thought I had everything corrected.
Yeah, reduce mic background noise.
Wait a minute. Reduce mic background noise. Yep.
Yeah, because my audio is coming through my earpiece, and my mic is the only thing that's picking it up. And it's not coming through my computer at all, so I shouldn't be echoing on my side. There it goes. Oh no, yeah, it's yours, HQ, because you just muted. So the echo is coming from your side or your settings, or something that's changed.
Translation HQ, you're wrong.
But yeah, man, we as a culture tend to accept the things that make us look bad, and no other culture does that. And then if other people aren't set to a certain standard of hood mentality or ratchetness, even the good parts of it, like the collectiveness parts of hood thing, the things you like, if somebody starts running, you're supposed to run. You know, those things we just supposed to automatically know, and not everybody black understands those things. It don't make them any less black. You're black because you're black. So even mentality or not. And then that's where the cooning comes in, because those people don't understand that no matter what you do or say, you still black.
Right.
But
And
nobody can take your
I don't know
black
if y'all
card,
remember that
regardless of what you say.
that graduation. Oh, my bad.
No, I'll go G.
Oh no, that graduation ceremony with all them kids. That was graduation. I think that was a HBCU, if I'm not mistaken. like all those kids was dancing after their graduation, and like, because like everybody was clamoring on the internet about it, like they wilding out, they acting like wild hyenas and wild animals. I mean, if that's what we're gonna appropriate as Black culture, I mean that's why I asked the question earlier in the chat, like, what are we appropriating as Black culture? I mean, because it's just so many things that's like we are saying that, and we want to justify that. Okay, them doing like that at their graduation, I'm like, that's just how we celebrate. But what do we appropriate, and what do we see and advocate for as Black culture? That's my question.
We've accepted the lowest of the low, man. And it's gonna people that's gonna try to sit back and be like, they just celebrating, they just graduated. Like that's how we get down and stuff like that. It's like, man, no, man, it's a time and place for everything, man. You could do that at your personal party afterwards.
Yeah.
It makes us look unruly as a culture. It looks bad for all of us. And it's not like I'm not trying to impress the white man. I'm not trying to impress, but this, how come you don't want to impress the Black people? You know what I mean? Why do we always take it to, oh, you're trying to do that because you're trying to impress white people? No, I'm trying to. I want my family to look good. I don't need to impress other cultures or other races. I'm not doing this for them. How about looking good for me when y'all young and y'all acting like that? How about presenting yourself in a certain way to look good for us, not to other people, for us, because we want to see that too. I could care less about what they say. Why don't you care about what we say to each other? It's accountability for self, man. That was just sad, G. That was a.
How does that sound now?
I heard myself echoing still.
Still, is it loud or small?
I mean, it's not bad to me, but it's echoing. Something changed in the setup or something.
Yeah, that makes too much sense. How's the echo out there? Gihanna, how is yours? Gihanna, see, I can't trust you. Can you hear me?
No, I'm saying. Okay, so I still hear looping.
Okay. Answer some of those questions that you got, or ask Gihanna so far. I got to look at this. Hold on.
Yeah. So okay. So I posed this to HQ, y'all, and I put it like this. I said, first define and discuss what people consider pro-Black. Then pose the following questions for discussion. And each question starts out as, can a Black person be pro-Black if they, number one, marry or have children outside of their race? 2, marries the same sex. 3, sold drugs in the community. 4, took one or more Black lives. 5, have more than one Black baby mamas or baby daddy. 6, votes conservative. 7, personifies ratchet or ghetto behavior. 8, does not spend money in the Black community. 9, displays colorism. 10, doesn't take care of their physical health. And the reason I put some of those in there is because if you don't care about yourself in a certain way, or you don't care about your community or represent in a certain way, then how can you consider yourself pro-Black if it doesn't show? And I put the reason I put number 2 in there, marries the same sex, is because typically if you're with the same sex, or you're not propagating the community, that's not a stable, not saying it's not stable, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. It's not a stereotypical household. It's not mother, father, children. So that you can't see both sides of the parental dynamic. So that's why I put that in there for anybody wondering. And the other one should be pretty much self-explanatory.
You hear yourself still?
No, you good. You're good now.
Are we good now? We good?
Yeah, whatever you did work.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm back. Whew. Okay. Wow. Greetings, everybody. Greetings, everybody. So, marries or has children outside of their race. How you doing, G Honda?
Oh, doing good. Good, doing good, doing
Okay.
good. You hear me? Y'all
Echo,
hear me
echo
clearly?
is gone. Echo is
Yeah, you
gone.
good, G.
Yep.
Okay. Except
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Doomsday.
just bad to he
So
just bad
like
to
I
that good
wanted
old bad
to not
internet.
to give
Pro black. Can you
no
be
stop.
pro black? Can you be pro black and be married outside of your race? Huh. Can you be pro black? But see, I think pro black is something within you and not necessarily something like being married to somebody pro black. But then again, I could be wrong. I don't
I
know.
know that I know how that argument can be made because they're like, well, you taking your DNA outside of the community. You're taking your DNA outside the community. You're taking your resources outside of the community because you're putting your resources into your family, which is now split. I
Hmm.
can
but
understand the
but
argument, but I still want to pose the question.
but back to like your fourth or fifth reason if that individual is creating multiple broken families like Umar Johnson, where he got two baby moms and two broken families, like isn't that equal? Isn't that equivalent? I'm sorry, let me say it again. Is that equivalently dysfunctional just as one taking a race? Well, this is a two-part question. Isn't that equally dysfunctional when one creating broken families with the same race, just as well as marrying outside the race, which is I don't see as a dysfunctional at all, right?
That's why I posed the question, G, because that's why I posed those different
But you got
questions.
but you got a guy black fam, your own black family, right?
Hmm. Yes. Ty,
So I
Ty,
get
how's your internet? Because of Gianna. Backing in. Ty, can we hear you?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, yeah, yeah, I'm coming through. Okay.
Yeah, you coming through okay.
All
What you
right.
say? Say you.
Y'all know y'all couldn't have this conversation without me. Jay Tillman, excellent, excellent discussion, my brother. I definitely, this right up my alley.
Mm,
Um, so I want to say, I want to answer what is pro black to me first. To me, pro black is loving your people. Um, and like Jay said perfectly, being ghetto and hood is not exclusive to being black, and being black is not exclusive to being ghetto and hood. You could be black and never seen a hood in your life. That is not, and be very culturally aware. Um,
mm-hmm,
I think a lot of people get that twisted. Being a nigga is being black, and I separate that all day long. Now I like nigga shit, but I love black people and black stuff. So to me, being pro black is just loving your people and who you are. It's kind of like Jay touched on it a little bit as well. I love myself. I love who I am. I love being an American, good, bad, and ugly. I
yeah.
love being a man, good, bad, and ugly. I love being a black man, good, bad, and ugly. And I
Mm,
think that loving your people is a part of self-love. And I think that pro-black is only a thing because everybody is pro whoever they are. If you white, you should be proud of being white and white accomplishments, whatever, you feel those are. If you Asian people are proud of being Asian people are very culturally proud.
Hmm.
Um, wherever you come from, you're proud of your people. And I think that the word pro-black is only a thing because we have so many people that despise and hate their own community. And we had to be pro-black. We had a lot of people that hate our culture. So we had to become pro-black. Now being pro-black movement is just doing agendas to help your people, but having to say pro-black to me is a thing that was invented because there is so many people that try to disassociate with being black because they associate it with being broke, ghetto, a nigga, and we gotta separate that. We gotta learn how to separate that because country music, white rappers, they rap about degenerate stuff as well. You got white rappers that rap about trailer parks. Eminem is a perfect example. I don't really fuck with him, but salute to him. Perfect example of a white person rapping using their art to display low cultural energy. So we got to separate the fact that everything ghetto we do is black. It's just certain broke mindsets like stupid shit.
Right. Right.
I think we're the only culture though that embraces it the way we do. And I wreck my brain trying to figure out why that is. Because for every one Eminem, how many black rappers is there that, do the
I,
degenerate stuff?
I don't think we the only ones that embrace it. I think that are embracing. I think that the idea that we embrace it came from negative media stereotypes because rap music used to be very pro community and pro black,
Yeah,
but
but
we
they changed it.
right.
The pop, you know who?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
even artists themselves,
changed it.
I won't even blame it on an outside group because especially in today's time, I would acknowledge that we as our own artists started to change that in the late 90s, but especially in today's time, yeah, a lot of these dudes take pride in making I call crash out music.
Yeah,
And I
they
don't like that.
incentivized it.
Yeah, exactly.
Those people
But
incentivized it, and it made it harder for the Diggable Planets and the Tribe Called Quest and the Roots and stuff like that
yeah,
to make their type of music and make it popular music. And then once they realize the struggle um through gangster rap used to depict the struggle. Now it kind of influences
yeah, yeah,
image. It's like
I,
reverse. And then
I
they
agree
once they
with you.
realize they can monetize that, then they just took it off, and that's all that really is out there now. You can still find good hip hop out there. I find it on
Hmm.
Instagram all the time, but those people is not popping because our culture is I don't know, man. We what's the word, man? We idolize the ratchetness, man.
But let me
A wet ass pee is going to be more than a rhapsody, and it's like
But you know what?
yeah,
I think we do. I think everybody seems to uh idolize drama and that
yeah.
whole thing. I think white people admire it. They say they tired of it, but they be right over there celebrating Bum Keisha doing twerking just like the regular black folks be over there doing the same thing. They may say, "Oh man, I wouldn't do that. I ain't finna do that. I ain't finna wear no bonnet. I ain't finna go over there and twerk in front of them people. I ain't finna do that." But they're the first people to watch it. They were the
But let
but
first
me
people just
HQ.
to not celebrate it, but watch it. Right?
speak to what Jay has
But
said.
HQ. Who puts more action into the dysfunction though? HQ.
Let me speak to what Jay said before I lose this thought. You said I agree with you that now rap is a manifestation of the conditions that we live in now. Now ever since the hype of drill music, it's
Mm-hmm.
intensified the idea that that's how young men should be because a lot of times music and entertainment is raising the youth, and that is a problem. I was just having this discussion with somebody last night that we got to stop with the nigga shit. Like the streets are dead. Selling drugs and moving around the streets is not a way to. It used to be the only way a lot of people could take care of their family, and
no, it
that's
never
not
was, man. It never was.
it.
That
Well,
was an it never was, man. It was an easier way out, or they made it seem like it was an easy way out, but that was never a viable like that was never something you had to do. There was never something you had to do.
I can agree with you because if I would have been introduced young to positive opportunities, I would have gravitated to those. But the first money making opportunities that were introduced to me was illegal activities for the most part.
Because it was quick money.
it wasn't even that it was quick money. It was just the like I would try to go to youth jobs, summer jobs. You know, I'm talking about being in high school trying to make some money. And I couldn't find anywhere that I could really, and it didn't seem cool to try to go get a work permit and go to McDonald's. And that's a problem too. We
Yeah,
think
it
that,
didn't.
yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem that we do need to fix in our culture, but we don't. I know white people that embrace being white trash. They call themselves
Yeah,
white trash.
yeah, I know. I know.
So
I see it.
I think that our lower part of our community, the down part of our community, is just magnified, and
Mm, you say magnified. I mean, this is how we got to this black fatigue, where everybody's tired of this, everybody's tired of that. You know what? We didn't get tired. We That's all we used to see was white degeneracy too. But once we just took over we took over this culture. People started looking at ratchet as the only way to look at black folk. Do we have a movement of pro-black in this country? What is that movement in pro-black in this country? What is the movement? Where do we start to say, okay, we got to have get more pride back in being black, and that means dampening down that ghetto ratchet side and uplifting the positive images that we have out there. We have plenty of positive human beings in the community. I believe that it's in all communities. Some of us or some communities know how to shame it so much that it gets thrown back into the closet. There's got to be degenerate Chinese behavior.
HQ. But don't you think we don't you
Yeah, there
think we
is.
don't
Absolutely.
but HQ, don't you
So
think we
we're
amplify that behavior? Don't Yes, it's indeed is across the board, like in every other race, HQ. But
right.
don't you think with what we have with these murder capitals, like and all that's in like the contributive factors, right? Don't you think we amplify the dysfunction and define that as pro-black?
The
Like
ratchet
over the
behavior.
years, generally.
Oh no, I have never looked at Nug Nug and said, "Hey, Nug Nug, Nug Nug is representative of my whole behavior, my whole community." Oh hell no, I am fully aware that we have good people, good role models, good movements. I am fully aware that we have those. I don't embrace. I don't say no. Let me put it this way. I love every facet of blackness, regardless of whether it's ratchet or it's not. I
You
don't
love
promote it.
every you love it, HQ?
I love everything about being black people. Everything about being
But
black people.
HQ,
No,
you
that's
No, I don't. No,
no,
there's a
no.
difference
HQ,
between
you can't
loving every
HQ,
facet of a.
HQ.
Hold on. I love everything that about there is about black people. I don't promote everything there is about black people. I don't subscribe to everything that's about black people. But
But you said you
I
love it.
can't, I can't because I can't get rid of it. I'm a part of that. I'm a part of that, regardless of whether it's negative or not.
Well, I
Hey,
guess
but
I'm a
that's the
part of it
mentality that's holding
because
us
I'm black.
back.
yeah, but HQ, you can't properly love something and not present a corrective action towards it.
Yeah, just
Like
like
that's
raising
the
a
same.
child.
Yeah, like we saying against like all the dysfunction and all the like the drill music and the all
Mhm.
the negative promotionals that we see. Like if you ain't keen enough to speak on it and just standing with the stance of, oh, I don't want to shine a light on our women, talking about they need to stop wearing wigs and all this. I mean, I get emails about, me talking about, of course, women's pH balances and staying in shape and,
Right.
the wigs and such. But I'm like, well, if you're not speaking towards a corrective action, a better stance, a better preservation for them, then how can I accurately love them? I'm just speaking hoodoo to them. I can't properly love them if I'm not able to give a corrective thought to them. Like
Of
how
course,
like
of
like
course,
how
people
would
have.
you
Of
like how would
course,
you
we have
properly be
corrective
for
thought.
something that But how can, but I'm saying, but to a bigger point though, how can I be for something that I'm not healthily pouring into in every facet?
Well, that's
I
not
can't be for it if I'm
necessarily
not healthily pouring into it.
the case. There's a lot of things that I'm not a part of. I know nothing about that. If presented with it, I have an opinion about it. I'm not presented with every facet of a black person or every facet of the black life or experience. I'm not. I don't know anything about being a black Navy airman. I don't know anything about being a black knitter or a black new person or a person that is LGBT, or I don't know every facet of being
No,
black.
no, 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 no.
Saying I'm saying
No,
what I
HQ.
do
I'm just
know, I accept. Let me use a different word because y'all getting hung up on the love. I accept what comes down the pike as a black person. I don't like it. I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but I can't change it if it comes from somebody who's black. I can't change it. I can shun as many things as I want to. I'm
well,
saying
HQ.
maybe love
Can
is a
you
strong word.
HQ? Can
I'm
you agree
saying
with the fact?
I don't.
But
I just
HQ,
don't
can
have
you agree with
judgment.
the fact
I
that
just don't have judgment against every facet of
right, right? But
black.
can you agree with the fact that if you don't speak against something, that's equivalent to being for it?
Mhm.
Yeah, if I know about it, yes. I think it's a matter of if I don't know about it, then I can't speak on it. If you present it to me and you say, you present it to me and then you say, do I have an opinion? Then I can have an opinion. But I just don't say somebody presents something to me and then all of a sudden I have to be against it. I mean, it just
Well,
depends on what it is. It just depends on
HQ, I recognize that I, as Jay Tillman, cannot change so many things within the black community, but
right.
I can absolutely accept all the positive and reject the negative things. I can do that. It's
Well,
within
that
my
I mean,
power and
yes,
capability to do
absolutely,
it. I don't have to.
absolutely,
I don't have to. I don't have to accept it.
absolutely.
I can
You can
denounce
accept
those
and
things, and I can
reject,
hold those people accountable
right?
because there's
And
certain things
and I'm
that
saying
happened
to
over
you,
trends that
and I'm saying to you, the things you accept are not the things I accept, and the things you reject are not the things I reject. So that's what I'm saying. There's things that you accept. There's things you all reject. Like for example, a lot of black people rejected that statue. I don't reject that statue at all. That statue, I embrace that statue 100%. You
why
see
do
how
you
we're
embrace
different?
it?
What you mean you
Because
embrace that? Why do you? Why would you embrace? Why would you embrace something
no, don't
that
ask me why
denigrates
I
you
embrace
as?
it. Don't
Why?
ask me
No, no,
I
no.
want to
why.
know why you embrace it. I want to know the base and the foundation of why you
So I
embrace
embrace
that
it
statue.
because that statue represents me
HQ
Why?
because
ain't
it
gonna let
does.
this statue go.
But why HQ? Why does that statue
That
represent
statue
you?
represents me.
If
I
it
don't.
was a if it
What do
was
you
a
mean?
white
Why? It just does.
if it was the same size and everything, but you could tell it was
It don't
obviously
matter whether
a
it's the
white
same
woman, would that
size.
still represent you?
It don't matter whether it's the same size.
I'm
It don't
trying to
matter
figure
whether
something
it's.
out,
I'm
HQ.
saying it's a
HQ. I
represent.
got a question.
Hold on,
Oh,
if you want
my
me to
bad,
tell
Jay.
you
Go ahead.
why, I said when I first saw the statue, I didn't have a negative reaction to that statue. That statue is my neighbor. That statue is my sister. That statue is plenty of people I see on TV, plenty of black people I see in the ghetto, in the neighborhood, at school, nurses. That person I see every day. I
But
don't reject that
why
person
do we make
at all.
statues of certain things? It's a symbolism, right?
Yes, symbol.
Do we and I understand art is subjective,
Mhm.
but when we typically make a statue of something and put it somewhere for everyone to see, what is that supposed to symbolize? Is it supposed to symbolize mediocrity,
It's supposed to symbolize what
the
you think
common
is,
man,
but is it supposed to
or like
symbolize what you
excellence?
think of excellence, or
How come that couldn't have been a sister who was of a reason. It could have been the same. She could have been the same size. How come she
Absolutely.
wasn't in a graduation robe with a graduation cap with the tassel to the side that you
Mhm.
graduated with the
Yeah,
cum
like a
laude and all the stuff
like a
down the
Maya
side
Angelou.
absolutely.
with her
Why?
natural hair showing? How come it couldn't have been
Absolutely.
that? Why is
Absolutely.
it showing like the way it showed?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, Michael, I'm asking you. Why do you think it
I
did it?
don't know because I
My
mean,
point
yes,
is
we see
asking
those.
you.
Yes,
It's
we see
your
those type. Those that's
interpretation.
our cousins.
Yes.
I got cousin. I got all that stuff. Sisters,
Mhm.
mamas, everything could look like that woman right there.
Mhm.
But why did she
So
look
H
like that?
Yes.
Why? What was that
Why?
symbolizing? What's the
My question
symbolization
exactly.
behind it?
My question exactly. I think this is what I think. This is just my thought. It's a black man who made this statue. He sees these people every day, and he made the statue, and I'm hoping he made the statue because he sees beauty in the most marginalized woman on the planet. He sees beauty in the most disrespected, the most hated, the most talked about, the most humiliated woman on the planet. That's what I think, and I hope that's why he made it. He sees beauty in that. And I see
Why did
but
all
it,
those
I'm
things?
telling
How
you,
do
but
you feel
I
that
HQ.
way?
I'm telling you, I see beauty in that. You don't. I do.
But HQ, that could have been HQ.
Everything
That could have
about
been
that
Angela
statue.
Bassett.
Hold on.
HQ. That
Everything.
could have been Angela Bassett.
I
That could have
just
been Maya
answered your
Angelou.
question.
That could have been Oprah Winfrey, or somebody of
Absolutely.
prominence.
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely. So
So why
why?
not? Why a
So
picture of
why
that?
did he
Why
do it?
not? Why not a prominent black woman?
Right. Absolutely. Why? He could
HQ,
have picked any woman on this planet. He could
I
have
agree.
picked a skinny, beautiful woman on this planet. He could have picked any woman on this planet. Why did he pick that fat
I
black
agree.
woman?
And all of those negatives you said about how black women are depicted and how they're viewed by
No,
others,
no.
it's because
That
black
black
women
woman.
don't hold stuff that
That
it's
black
because black women
woman.
don't hold stuff like this, hold people accountable for stuff like this, and you don't protect your image. It's because when other black women get on and start acting ratchet and doing all the crazy nonsense in public and on TV and allowing themselves to be depicted in a certain way, other black women don't hold them accountable. They celebrate it.
So we're supposed to just see the beauty, the skinny, the light.
Because you're supposed to have
We're
pride and you're supposed to have black
so that's the
pride. You're
only
supposed
thing
to
we
be
see on this
proud.
planet. Hold on.
No, it's not. But we can hold
Okay,
ourselves to a higher standard because I do it
absolutely,
as an individual. Ty Pro does it as an
absolutely.
individual. G Honda does
I
it as an
see Oprah all
individual.
the time. I see
So how
Oprah
come we
all
can't
the
do it
time.
as a community?
But this is art. This is art. This is how he sees beauty, not how
And
you see
that's a
beauty.
slip and that's a slippery. It's not about how I see beauty. It's
It's
that
about how he
like
sees
you said,
beauty.
that's a fat black statue. You said it was a fat. I never said it was a fat black statue. I just
Right.
said, why is that the representation?
And I'm saying it is a representation to me, not to y'all. That's the whole point of art. Art is supposed to speak to people. It's supposed to speak to whoever it speaks to.
So
It
can I ask
spoke
a
to
question to
me
Ty Pro and G Honda?
in my way.
Ty
For
Pro
Y'all
G
sure.
Honda,
go however y'all
say
want to.
we know the typical look of the YNs now, right? They got the dreads, they got whatever kind of clothes they wear, the pants is hanging off a little bit, something like that. Might have some golds in their mouth, something like that. Somebody makes a bronze statue and puts that out Times Square or wherever. How do y'all feel about that?
I spoke to that when I talked to HQ about the statue. HQ is never going back down on this statue, but I said the same thing, Jay. I wouldn't feel proud of that to represent me, and I'm from the hood, and I still wouldn't want a picture of somebody, a hood dude up there trying to represent my whole people because I would want a statue to represent the best of my culture. not the part of our culture that's problematic. And no matter how, you know what I'm saying, you can see the good. It's 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 art, so it is subjective. So people gonna see the good and the bad depending on their perspective of what they looking at. But I would want a statue that represents the high. I'm not a suit wearing, briefcase toting guy. I'm a truck driver. I get, dirty every day. I don't want a statue of a truck driver with dreads because it's like that's not for me. A statue represents something to strive to be, and I would want to see put something that gives me hope to be better.
Well said, bro. I feel the same way.
Like,
G Honda.
No, definitely, because that statue, that black statue, the fact that they put it in the middle of Times Square, one of the biggest cities on the planet, one of the most prominent cities near Madison Square Garden or near the Broadway. I mean, that's just such a disgrace in the black eye to the black community. I mean, that statue may as well have been Monique if it was going to be a fat black woman, or Respucia from the whatever. But I mean, like
Norbit.
I said, that could have been Maya Angelou. That could have been Oprah Winfrey. That could have been Angela Black. That could have been Angela Bassett, like a woman of black prominence, one of our most notable black women, of all the most successful, beautiful black women that we've had on this planet. It could have been any one of them. I mean, if you go to LA, they got the Walk of Fame, and the majority of those black women on the Walk of Fame.
Mhm.
Shout out and salute to them. But for
Would
them
be
to do
damn
that,
rich.
but to answer your question, Jay, if they put like a statue of a YN, right? So if they
She
put a
does have
statue
a
of a
she
of a
does have a
YN,
broad.
I mean that'd be disrespectful to every black son, huh?
I said she does have a bra on.
I'm sorry, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. How you felt about it? How you felt about it? You said it was
Hold up, say
disrespectful.
that say that again. Say that
I
again.
said you felt it was disrespectful.
The statue. That's no the stat. No. I say the statue. The statue is to an entirety is a black eye to the black community. So whether you feel disrespected about it or not, initially
Okay.
it's a point of disrespect for the black woman,
Oh,
but
you
not only
feel
the
it's a
black
so you
woman, but the
feel it's
black
a
woman
point of
that contributes to the
disrespect.
black community. It's
I'm saying
disrespect.
you feel it's a point of
It no,
disrespect.
it is no HQ. Whether if I
Otherwise
feel it
it
or if
would
I
be
don't feel it, it is
disrespectful.
disrespectful to anybody's
Sir,
mother, grandmother,
G
or
Honda,
daughter.
G Honda, you're not the only human on this planet. If it's not disrespectful to me, it's not all black people. It's
Okay,
disrespectful
HQ,
to
you
you.
entitled to feel that
It's
way.
not.
HQ, you
That's
can feel.
right. And you're entitled to
HQ,
feel the way
HQ,
you
you can.
feel. So stop saying all of us feel that way. We
Yes,
all
yes,
don't.
yes. I'm not projecting nothing on you. I'm
You
not
said it's
projecting nothing on you. But our black women, my
then know
great
what you said.
grandmother, my mother, my mother, my
Well,
sisters, my that share my complexion.
then I
That's
better not
disrespectful. That's a
hear.
black eye to the
Okay,
to
I
people
got
that
you,
look like
Gianna. I got you,
us.
Gianna. Then I shouldn't hear not one man on this panel forever and a day say that 80% of the black women are overweight. I better not hear that because that statue
Now you
represents 80% of us women being overweight.
I don't
So
think the
that
HQ,
that
problem
you
hold
What?
deflecting
on,
this.
hold
Hey,
on, hold
hey.
on,
What
hold
room are we
on.
in right now?
That's an
HQ, you
accurate
deflecting.
representation of black women.
I
Yes,
don't
it
think the
is.
problem
If
is
But
the
80%
HQ,
of
statue.
y'all are overweight, if
that's not
on,
contributive.
hold on. If 80% of the women are overweight, and if we hear that daily, every day, then why are y'all mad when they show a representation of that 80%?
Is that a good thing?
I
Nobody
don't
said it
think
was a good thing.
I don't think
So
the
that's what
weight
they're saying.
Who
I don't think
said?
the
But
weight of the statue is the
but
problem of the statue. I think
HQ, if
that the
we're speaking
problem.
against
What is the problem then? If that represents
Hold,
80%. As
Let
much
me
as
tell
people
you.
talk
Let me
about
tell you.
it being the bulk of it, wait a minute, here I hear that every day.
So look, so
No,
look,
that's the black women. That's the
the
bulk of the black
problem,
women on there. That's the bulk of the black
HQ,
women in the United States. Blah blah blah. So
HQ, the
now,
problem.
hold on. So now we show you, or somebody show you what you've been saying. What you've been saying.
Okay,
80%
so
is
hold on. Let me
overweight.
speak to
That's the
you.
bulk. That's the
She ain't
bulk.
got on. She ain't got on no bra.
Let me talk to you. Let me
Got
talk
on
to
the
you.
bra.
The problem,
I'm looking at it
the
right now.
the yeah, I peeped that too. She didn't have a bra
She
on.
got
But the
on the bra.
problem is not
Got on the bra.
the problem is not the weight of the statue. I
No, not
think
the
the
weight.
whole I think the whole statue in totality and the fact that it's symbolizing
Mm,
not the highest thing
mm.
to strive for black women is the problem. I think that like we making examples of, if it was a man and it represented something that we not the most proud of, we would not agree with making a statue of it. I think that yes, representation is good. Yes, it's representing an aspect of the black community. But if it represented, just like you say, you hear people calling black women fat all the time. Black men hear that we zesty all the time. If they had a zesty black man up there, we would be outraged. If
No,
they
you
had a
don't. You don't hear
ghetto,
zesty every time, every day. You
I
hear
hear
fat black
All
zesty.
the
women.
I hear
You hear
zesty from
you
black
hear
all
women
the
fat
just
time.
as
black
much.
women all the time.
We hear
Fat
we
black
hear
men
we hear
all
that black men can't do nothing without somebody saying that's zesty. Oh, you do that, that's zesty. We hear that just as much as y'all hear being fat. And I don't like being in the gender war stuff. I'm just using it as an equal playing field.
no, it's
So if
not
it was
equal.
a
Not
if
equal.
it was so what
She
is
ain't
a
got no bra.
stereo so
She
what
got
is a
on.
stereotype? What is HQ? What is a stereotype that black men may hear as much as black women hear about them being fat? Would it be the equalized stereotype?
Where the bra
Because
at?
what come to mind is being broke and being zesty, and I hear the zesty part more
Zesty is
than
gay, but that's not gay. There's no such thing as zesty. How do you manifest?
yes. That people
You don't
use it all the
manifest
time.
zesty.
What
Zesty
else?
Well, her
What else is
semantics.
that?
is
How do you know
emas.
what
It's
that
a what?
zesty means?
So it's an
That's being.
emasculated black man. It's
That
zesty is a
okay? How do
feminine
you put that in a
black man.
statue form?
So if you got a dude up there doing something that women would deem zesty on social media, we would be outraged because that don't represent us.
What is your thought on it? What is your thought on it? Mailbox.
Well, how's everybody doing? First off,
All right.
the first thing I want to touch base on is the notion of the artist. First, I kind of think if I heard his accent right, he's French or something to that degree.
He's
Not
English.
just well, not American born, and in terms of this depiction that we're talking about, because we said 80% of American women, black, are overweight. That's what you said. Am I right with that
No,
one?
American. No, 80% of black women.
Okay, so they talk about
Not just
they talk about
American.
all across the world when they say that, because I don't believe that's true at all. But
Mhm.
I'll go with you for this. We'll go with your madness on that one. Nonetheless, is his representation or depiction, you said that he's doing it in a non-malicious way. Can we be sure of that? What if he
That
is
I
actually
don't
painting?
know. I
But
don't
the
know.
way in which you framed it is if he's proud of what he did because he's trying to highlight something that's great, when in fact he understands the landscape in which he put it in Times Square and the eyes that it would be exposed to. And so if he wants to paint a negative image, I would use my platform to do so, because the first thing that everybody sees when we talk about New York, you talk about Ellis Island. You talk about tons of immigrants and everybody coming in as far as foreign born persons and so on and so forth. The largest representation of black people or black women is going to be that statue, hands on her hips, scowl on her face, and the weight. Not to just put it in a weight context. They didn't do anything that can make her affable, more less cantankerous, as you like to say, something that's an inviting person. They gave you the stereotypical negative connotation with a black woman.
She's not even
Be-
smiling.
yeah, a scowl on her face, frowned up, hands on her hips. and they try to, and that to me paints her in the least favorable position that it could. Not to say that the weight is a good thing, but they put those things collectively together, I think, to paint more of a negative image in your mind because public perception goes a long way. And like you said, we talk about that particular number all the time. Now somebody else that's not even in the United States wants to magnify that, highlight it in a way that can't be brushed under the rug,
Right.
and that's why I think G Honda says it's a stain because out of all the things they could have painted, Mae Jemison is a African American woman that was an astronaut, slim figure, bright, personable, smile on her face. They took no opportunity to put a woman like that there that has the mind, body, and the presence as far as a resume. You took that particular image, and don't tell me because we speak of the negative part of our culture because it's what we see predominantly. That is what you want to put out to the world. For example, I am a sports guy, but if I'm going to a job interview to speak in a language that speaks to any education that I have, undergraduate or graduate level, a suit and tie, the subject matter, those types of things are the things I'm going to present because we, i.e., present our best selves. And I don't think that that particular statue, whether it be indicative of a large majority of people at all, was the best representation. And I think that's more so what they're saying, whether or not it's accurate of a whole. I won't try to argue with you about that because it may be representative of a large portion of people. But if a large portion of black men were criminals, we wouldn't want to highlight that. Is what they're saying in essence, I believe. Not to paint it as something that's a glorified thing.
Right.
Drill rapping and things like that. I know it exists. I know it exists prevalently in our community. I don't foster it. I don't listen to it. I don't care about it. And I wouldn't want to say if we talked about the top 5 artists, I'm not going to put up Young Dolph or somebody like that to try to highlight the best of us when that's not the best of us. He may be talented in his own right. And my apologies. Rest in peace. I didn't even mean to use his particular name, but I wouldn't actually use those people to represent the best of musical culture if I was going to say something like that. And so that statue, I think, just in essence, doesn't paint us in the best possible picture, whether or not it have any particular credence to being accurate is what I think most people saying, or at least it's what I'm saying. I should say it that way.
I got you. I mean that's your opinion. That's everybody's opinion. I love it. I think it's a representation of us, accurate all the way. The
Hey,
Got
ugliest
a
of
good
excuse
us,
thing
could
though.
the ugliest of us is on
could
display.
could uh
Got a-
could could Jay Tillman hit me with them questions he had though, just to
Yeah,
bring
the
it
pro
back to
black
black
question.
culture? Yeah,
Okay, so can a black person be pro-black if they marry or have children outside of their race? If they
Mm,
all right.
marry,
Let
oh,
me answer. Let me speak to. I want to kind of break. You asked some great questions. I just want to give a quick answers to everything you were saying. Yes, a person can be pro-black and still marry outside of their community, but I think it's indicative of that person's mindset and that person's partner mindset and the belief system because you can be black and not pro-black. So if you have a pro-black mind, I would imagine that your partner not being black will still have a empathy and understanding of you being proud of your culture and what you represent. If you represent your culture, you represent your culture.
mm.
I
Mailbox.
put him in the back chat,
Okay.
Typo.
What do you think,
Let me
Mailbox?
check that.
Well, this is one of the first times that I think I'm going to be totally personal to a situation. My brother from another mother slash first cousin is in an interracial marriage, has biracial children, and of the friends that I call friends, he is the proest of black in terms of the things that he promotes and perpetuates throughout his life. And
Wow.
so, like Ty just said, the mindset and the way in which you want to be contributive to um, both sides, because I think it's imperative that we understand things from not just my plight, but there are other persons in the other race that didn't have the same viewpoints as
Mhm.
maybe their race. And so to have the open dialogue that we would have amongst strangers, I think for those particular paradigms where they have an interracial relationship, if you do it with an altruistic motive, I think absolutely that you can speak on pro-black situations because last time I checked, still get to live those situations. It's not like you just exonerated or exiled yourself from the whole black community unless
Mm,
you are the person who actually done that. If you're a person who did it that way and you want to ostracize yourself, then I would feel totally with everybody that you shouldn't feel so compelled to speak on issues that you don't care about, genuinely. But if you're a person that lives it day to day and that is who you are, I can't tell you not to speak on it because your circumstance didn't put you in the light to fall in love or bond with a person that doesn't share your skin complexion. Because family, in essence, is not always the person that you were born into. I watch you every Saturday, HQ, go back and forth with Mr. Walker, and you do it in a family and a loving way. That's not your family in blood, but it's your
mm,
family in the way in which y'all adapt to each other because you understand things the same way. So the plight, whether you agree about things or not, you understand the root of where they come from with their sentiment. And I think that plays a heavy part into whether or not you get to speak on a certain subject because the way in which your intentions go lie heavily onto how you affect or try to affect those things, whether it be negative or positive. I'll leave it at that.
I had a question. So, do you think, as a black man, since it's black men on the panel, do you think, as a black man, when you get a wife or get a partner that's white, do you have to dampen your blackness to be acceptable on that side? This is a question I had a thought about. Do you have to mute yourself in any way, or do you conduct yourself just like a regular black man? And do people look at you thinking that maybe you have to dampen yourself down? How does your partner respond to the pro blackness of you?
uh from my own personal experience, being married 18 years, together for 19, to a white family, I don't dampen my blackness. There's certain things that I don't say or do around them because they wouldn't relate to it. So me saying that, they wouldn't get it if I said it. They
Like
don't have
what?
any they don't have any they don't have any relation to
A
that.
reference to it. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
oh man, this like, oh, like if I was with them or something, like if something was good, we got some food or something. Oh man, this made me want to slap your mama or something. They'd be like,
Colloquialism type thing. It's like, huh?
what?
What are we talking about?
Like, oh,
And,
okay. Like they
and
wouldn't get it. So it would be a waste of a joke or just a silly thing. It's a little sentiment. They wouldn't get that. So it's
I
like,
think that
yeah. So it's like, there's certain but I'm not going to dampen myself. I'm gonna always be myself.
Mhm.
Some people might think I speak proper. Some people, when I'm speaking, I say that and those and the and stuff. I don't say those or the. It's the way I speak, and I don't change it for anyone. Like even when I've had classes and been teaching like CPR or something like that, I'm still speak the same way.
Mm. Okay.
You know, I'm gonna toss a little anecdotes in there, little jokes, a little whatever. I'm gonna be me, regardless if the class is professional white folks or professional black folks or it don't matter. I'm just gonna be me. So I don't feel like me because I married a white woman that I'm dampening myself, my light, my
Mhm.
blackness in any way, shape, or form
So has
at
anyone
all.
else had that experience where they felt like they had to, or they haven't been in a relationship with a different race?
Well,
I
I mean, I
never.
probably dated some other persons from another race, but even to
Mhm.
speak to what Jay just said, my cousin might invite us over in a funny way to add to the blackness per se, and by that I mean
Add
my
to the
wife,
blackness.
yeah, my wife, my kids, to see the way in which they interact with each other, like he said, has a different tone. And so conversely, they need to be able to see how he interacts with his family, if in fact we are all family. So for example, now cooking goes all his way because he brought this thing to the party that nobody else seemed to bring, and it was this thing called seasoning. So he seasons meat and they thought that the things that he was doing was like the best in the world chef level type things. Whereas he has the personality, the joke, engage, and say, "Oh no, this is something called Laurie's. I can
Lowry's.
take you to the store to get it." Type stuff like, and he never tamps
Wait,
down the
hold
person
on,
that
hold on,
he
hold on.
is.
Maybe what is this? What did you say? What is this? Lowry's?
Yes,
Wait a minute, hold on. White folks didn't have a
Lowry's?
seasoning, so he threw some seasoning on it and threw them all the way off, huh?
and I mean, he put them all the way in. You know what I'm saying? Like They look forward to coming to the barbecues and the birthday parties because he gonna cook.
Shoot, we
And
gonna eat his food. We ain't gonna
we
eat
gonna hit.
nobody else's
Thank
food.
you. And it's like, that's not the offensive thing for them or him to be like, I didn't like my own mother's cooking. So this is not an indictment to you and your race. Certain things ain't what I vibe with, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. Hopefully, since we gonna be around each other, let's be each other. Cause I don't want you to fake it. We here for the long haul, boss. They there until, and to death do us part. Please don't play with me. Be your altruistic self, and that's who you are. If I don't like it, we deal with each other in doses. If I do, then we go ahead and pour it on full breed because that's what you're supposed to do with your family, your friends, and everything else. But take yourself the opportunity to be yourself because your wife got to lay with the real you. I
Right.
don't want to be a fake me for your whole family and a real with you because then I'm not really genuine at all, to be honest anyway. So I keep it a buck.
Triple
I
X.
think
Oh, wait a
oh
minute.
shoot.
Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead, Ty. Go
What
ahead,
up,
Ty.
Triple? I was just gonna say, just to speak to what Jay and Mailbox said.
Mm-hmm.
I never been in a relationship, an interracial relationship. I've kicked it, lightly dated interracially, but even with those interactions and with people at work, I think that when you don't dampen your blackness or your culture, or where you don't dampen yourself, you allow for a lot of teachable moments, and you allow for a lot of relatability and understanding of each other. Like I worked with a lot of white folks at my last job, and one of the guys would say, speaking on what Mailbox said, he'd be like, "Man, I know how to cook for real. I use seasoning, this and that." He was a white guy, and they kind of know what our culture is, and they know how to identify, like, hey, I'm cool. I know I got a little rhythm. I know how to dance a little bit. And I think that when you don't dampen yourself as a black person in these environments, whether you professional or not, you allow a lot more ground to understand each other and to relate it with each other and see that we're not as different as we think we are.
Mm. Triple. Triple. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Salute to everybody. Great topic. How are y'all doing?
Hey, sir.
Good, brother. Good, brother.
What up,
All
though?
right.
What up,
Salute
though?
to you.
Yeah, fantastic topic. Yeah, I'll say this. I haven't been like in a full-blown relationship with women of other races. Mixed women, yeah, but not just completely other races. Um, but I'll say this. Like I've been the mixed women, like, they were like half white. I would be around their family and stuff, and they had white family, of course. And I mean, the interaction was cool, but I never dampened my blackness for anybody. I'm just a damn bulldozer. You got to deal with it. And I'm never one to like, not speak my mind or speak on issues. I'm always open to hear other people's perspectives. And I've never been like closed-minded to that, but I haven't had any other real issues interacting with anybody else in regards to dating, like race-wise.
So uh, when people say ratchet ghetto behavior,
Yeah.
do you look at that ghetto ratchet behavior as uh a representation that we just have to put up with, or is it just a part of our culture? Um,
Okay. So you're saying, do I see it as a specifically black thing or?
mhm. And
Yeah.
just
Go-
specifically black.
Oh, not necessarily. I mean, it's ratchet. Like if you look at the Cash Me Outside girl, she's white, but she raps and stuff, and she hangs around a lot of sisters and stuff and black people. She ratchet as hell, you
Mm,
know. The Whoa Vicky chick, that's another white girl that's super ratchet.
mm-hmm.
It's a lot of them. I could go down the list. It's really a behavior, but unfortunately, such a large amount of sisters have succumbed to that. It's become synonymous with blacks, when that's brought up. Unfortunately, I don't look at it like that, but it's
Mm-hmm.
likely a lot of people do, and that's unfortunate.
A
Look,
question.
That's not black. Go ahead,
hold
HQ.
on. Let me just
Ty,
answer
you
that.
just be jumping in before somebody even say anything,
I
sir.
just be trying to not to lose my train of thought, but I just seen a chick pull up in a truck banging some G Herbo or something, and I'm assuming that it's a black person in there, and a
Right.
super white girl hopped out, picking up her mixed kids from her black baby daddy, and I was just in shock because she had the music banging like
Right.
speakers and everything, and tinted out truck. I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, that's a perfect example. It's not synonymous to ghetto. It's just, people enjoy it.
Yeah,
My
it's
bad,
just the
Did she
HQ.
have
My
behavior.
yam?
bad.
Yep.
But the
I got
real
a
And it can
question
be
question.
is, the
this
real
This
question is, did she have yams though?
boy,
She was a small body. She was a small body, like a race car.
I'm just
question
playing.
for the panel.
Damn.
Question for the
Damn.
No
panel.
yams. No
Yeah.
yams.
Question for the panel. We are. Do you feel as though okay? Maybe not a question, just an observation. Do you feel like this black fatigue thing?
Mm.
Just keep in mind that thing. The overall or the community, the outside community, the dominant community. We as the minority community have to understand and get along with the dominant community. We have to adopt some of their ways. We have to adopt some of their mannerisms. We have to adopt a lot of things on their side. Do you feel as though the reason why we have misunderstanding on between the races, black and white specifically, is because they have not learned to, they have not wanted to understand our culture?
Can I go first?
And this is why we have this is why we have this movement or this understanding or this hatred. Maybe if they learn to adopt some of our or learn to understand our culture instead of saying I'm the dominant culture so they got to get to know me, what if they got to know our culture? Do you think we could get past some of this racial tension? Because we're here and we're not going anywhere.
Push.
They're getting to know it, but the parts that they get to know is the parts that they seem to like.
Yeah, I got a lot to say on it, but I'm gonna let the other guy speak first since I just went.
Jago.
Who's okay?
But
So
CHQ, the thing is,
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Was it G Honda? Hold on. G Honda hadn't spoke. Let G Honda speak first. Go ahead.
no,
Gian.
I'm gonna be brief. I'm gonna be brief.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be brief. So the whole thing is if like you just said, like us having to adopt other let's just say the white structure in society adopt some mannerisms that they may display in public settings. I mean, we we strongly lack civility within our own race and within our own selves. So like how can we look to adopt an appropriation outside of our race when we got so much civil unrest in our own race? So
And
I
that's
think we
why I
need to
said, wait a
clean
minute.
that
Hold
up
on.
first. And
Hold on. G Honda. We have assimilated into their society. They're the dominant society. So we have assimilated. When we resist that assimilation, this is when we have the conflict or
but
we have
but
the
HQ, but
crash out.
HQ, but HQ,
But
we can't go out, but we can't go.
wait a minute.
Okay,
Listen to
so
what I'm
right,
saying.
but so
Listen to what I'm
we
saying.
can't.
Listen to
I
what I'm
heard.
saying. We already have adopted the mannerisms and some of the cultural. We have cultivated their side of the fence because we've had to do that in order to survive. We've had to do that. We don't have a culture specifically where we just stay with them amongst ourselves. We don't have that. We have assimilated, we have taken some of their things and adopted some of their things and maybe made it our own, but we have made primarily take their stuff our own, or we have adopted it. But we do have our own things. Yes, we have
HQ,
issues, but you cannot say that we have not
yeah,
100% did that or taken their stuff into our
But HQ, but see, but to but to, but to a bigger point, I'm speaking to HQ. I guess I'm saying that with the civil unrest that we have within our own race, like we can't we can't really expect like the justice system and the justice department, right, and all the unruly things that all the injustices that the black community has seen for decades on end, like going dating back to the Rodney King thing and up until now, with the Trayvon Martin thing, right? So we didn't seen those many of things and those many injustices, all due to the dysfunction that we have within our own community and for individuals that look like us, right? So we can't expect justice to be had or to be properly had or to be properly allocated to us when we've been a genocide of our own for decades on end. So, like I said, bringing more civility to one another and being more civil as a race in whole in an entirety. And with that, I'm about out.
although you didn't answer my question, Jay answered
Oh,
my.
okay. So, oh man, who's doing that? She always calling her. So I'll say that even them being the dominant society because of population and numbers, we don't have to um, acquire their standards for certain things, but there are universal laws and there is a morality that we should adhere to inherently. It's not inherent only to white people. It's like we our the culture that whatever we came over from, the rhythm, the food and all that stuff like that, we took the bad stuff and made it good. But that's not us acclimating to the white culture or dominant society. It's universal laws. Treat others how you want to be treated. Don't rob, kill, steal, do the negative things. There's a certain civility. It's not inherent to white people. So by saying that we're adapting to white standards, it's not a white standard. That should be our standard as well.
So y'all
Why is that?
saying we didn't adopt to any white standards?
Why
We
is
just being civilized.
why is that
Mm,
why is that a
mm,
white standard? That's why my question is, like, when a certain person gets on here, it's like, oh, you just want to be like white people. It's no, I don't want to be like white people. I want to be civilized. I want to be structured. I want my people to strive for excellence. I want us to love each other. I want to be able to walk into another black neighborhood and not fear for my life because people don't know my face or if I'm wearing the wrong colors.
mhm, mhm,
There's nothing wrong with that.
mhm.
I don't understand that. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
I think
Got
it's
it.
more about being civilized. It's not about assimilating into white culture, like Jay saying. It's just about being civilized in this time and era and being mindful of human societal norms and adapting to them and not being a caveman with uh, brutish ways in public, being civilized. And I do think that uh, a lot of time black culture gets confused with ghetto culture, like the black fatigue thing. That's
Right.
I don't believe in that. Ninja fatigue,
Yeah.
ghetto fatigue, ratchet fatigue. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that exists. And but I was watching a podcast and he said something I'm going to repeat. We
What?
can, because I love, like we was talking about sinners. I do love me some ninja stuff here and
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
but I do get ninja fatigue. I don't want to be around that all the time. But what we can do is have an environment that we do embrace those parts of ourselves and our community, organized, civilized. It doesn't have to look bad from an outside point of view. It could be misunderstood, but it doesn't have to be dangerous, violent, toxic, and volatile. It can
Mm-hmm.
be, we can still have cookouts and everybody break out into doing the dance to whatever song the DJ playing, and everybody know the dance, and there's 50 people out there synchronized doing the hustle. You know what I mean? We can
Loving each other.
have loving each other, respecting each other. I'm gonna always come back to that. The best way for us to, because I don't shun the hood. And yes, I see they talking about the ghetto and where it came from. but it's 2025. The ghetto today is projects and the urban communities in these cities across the country. That's what it is now. And I don't turn my back on the hood in totality. I don't like being around. I don't go to the bar and to places that is going to be problematic. And I should not, like Jay said, I should not have to have that awareness that things can go bad in certain areas, but we can still have hood ninja type of experiences without the violence and the turmoil and the tragedy that can come along with that. You got too many drunk
Mm,
people in the area and somebody getting popped. That shouldn't be. It should still be
right.
safe. You should still care about your community. It shouldn't be it's like I said, it should be organized, civilized, structured ninja stuff, and we can embrace that. It's not like we got to turn our back and be suit wearing, polished. Everybody's not going to be like that, but everybody can love and respect each other.
Yeah, and
Right.
I
Let
just want
me.
to address something Ace Skate said. It's he said there's no set of standards, universal laws, or universal moral beliefs. Different groups of people have different standards and moral beliefs. I'll disagree with any civilized society. There are universal laws that need to be adhered to for that society to
It's called
operate
a social contract. You have a
and
social contract.
to
We all
not
have a
break
social
down.
contract.
Um,
Yes.
uh, don't kill, don't
Yeah.
steal. You
Yes.
know, yeah, it might be,
We
might
all
not
have
be
a
you can
social
go
Great.
out, don't
contract.
go outside
Yes.
without a bonnet. Yeah, that's whatever. But there's certain levels to it. But there are a core universal things that people have to do.
Exactly.
If I
Right.
go into a certain community, even where I'm from in Buffalo, if I'm not supposed to be in a certain place at a certain time, I might get checked by somebody, you know. And some of us who have grown up in the hood, if you go into the wrong neighborhood, you know, hey, what's up, man? What you doing around here? Who you know? What's going
Right.
on, man? Hey, I like those shoes. What size are they? You know, it's that type of stuff. It's like, why
Right.
are you doing this?
Right.
We the
But
same.
As a bigger
but
picture, it's called the social contract that we have. We all have a social contract with each other in this country. As a community, as Americans, we have a social contract. So yes, we do have universal rules and regulations. They may not be so black and white, but our Constitution. We most of us adhere to the Constitution. Most of us
Life,
look at the
liberty, and the
Constitution.
pursuit of happiness. Do
So
but
unto
we
no
others as you want them to do unto you.
right,
no
Treat people how you want to
shoes,
be treated.
right,
no
Universal.
shoes, no shirt, no service. No
right.
shoes, no shirt, no
Driving
service.
on the right
There
side,
you
driving on the right side of
exactly.
the street. We all universally know we drive right on the right side of the
Yeah.
street, drive left on the left.
No bra, no statue.
Shut your
A
little ass.
A States just be in the
Oh,
chat trolling for real. A States in the chat trolling. Uh
let me read the super chat. J Tillman, 13.99. Let's get into it. Yes, thank you very much, sir. We do accept super chats. We do accept lights and super chats, cash apps. We all do all of that. Look, we ain't working for free. We got 40 people in the building. We need to get the lights up, please.
Somebody got some background noise.
We need to
yeah,
get the lights
somebody
up,
loud.
please. And we are asking for super chats and cash apps, please, and thank you. We got 40 people in the building. We don't work for free. Let's not work for free. Let's not work for free. Please put out the super chats, cash apps. Thank you very much. I would appreciate it. We got to support the channel. We want to support the channel. I expect some super chats at some particular point or cash apps. Those kind of things. Support the channel. You want to hear the content? Please support the channel. Hit the like button, please. Ty Pro or Triple X. A question for you.
Go ahead.
Question.
Go
Do you
ahead. Go ahead.
spend money? Do you support the black community? Do we support the black community? Do we spend money in the black community? Do you spend money in black stores? Do you buy online black product when you can?
I try to go out of the way to support the black community the best way that I can. When I see somebody trying to get their business off the ground, I know in most cases, especially with them being black, it's probably first generation business.
Mm-hmm.
It's likely something that hasn't been handed down. They haven't been shown the ropes and carefully carted through and mentored through from uncles and dads and moms and stuff. Likely it's first generation, you know. So I try to get out there and support them the best way that I can. To answer
So
your
how
question.
do we? So how do we? Get past the all skin folk ain't kin folk, or all kin folk ain't skin folk, or whatever that is. How do we rise as a? How do we rise as a black unit? I mean, I said something the other day, and somebody said, "No, we can do better than that." Like starting a foundation where we help black businesses, maybe do
Yeah.
more to help black businesses, maybe do more to help black families get into homes, maybe do more to help black boys for a uniform. Maybe in our town we have 100 black families, and then see if we can get $5 a piece from each black family, so we can make sure we got uniforms and things for our black boys and our black girls when they need to do sports, or I mean something like that. I'm saying collectively, how can we do that? Can we do that, or are we too far past
I think it's
helping people?
possible to do. Whoa, we got a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's possible to do. I like what you're saying, HQ. I think the main inherent problem with trying to do that
Mhm.
is you're going to have so many double agents, and a lot of these people are influenced and are bought by people that may be outside of the black community that are going to try to go against that. You know, if you really get something like that going and you really start getting some major headway, you're going to run into some serious opposition, and those opposition is going to be other quote unquote black people, you know?
Mhm.
So that makes those things difficult to navigate and fight. And I don't know how familiar you are with Tariq Nasheed and Jason Black and everything, but you
I
know,
heard the names. I just haven't been there.
okay. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, at least Tariq has been on recently, is, you know, the whole delineation of foundational Black Americans, foundational Black Americans in relation to other non-American born Blacks, you know, because in a lot of situations, and of course, there's nothing wrong with those Blacks at all, but
Wait a
they've
minute. Let
been
me ask you
used.
a question though. Let me ask
Yeah,
you a question.
go ahead.
So do we? I mean, I hate to ask this question.
Go ahead.
No,
Everything else been
I'll
said up
just say
here.
my point of view. I'll say my point of view.
Go ahead.
Black people to me are black people across the world. I understand we have different cultures, we raise differently, all of that.
Right.
But we still, when we walk into a room, we still get regardless of whether we walk in a room full of white folks.
Yeah.
But one black person walks in, regardless of whether they're from Africa, regardless of whether they're from the ghetto, regardless of wherever they're from, they still get side eye
Well,
from people. So
okay.
I don't distinguish between African, FBA, and all of that. I don't even that. If I see
Well,
black,
you know
they're
why
black.
it's been such a push for that, HQ. I see what you're saying, but
Right.
the reason why it is because in a lot of situations, those other non-American born Blacks have been used to undermine American born Blacks.
Facts.
Yeah, and that's the big push
Facts.
for this. And
And
the
when you
reason
say
why it's become
undermine,
an issue. Yeah,
and when you
undermine. They've got a lot of those people in different in different offices, and you know, in different offices throughout the country, you know, and Congress, Senate, local government, and they've done things to try to undermine foundational Black Americans. In fact, there's a Jamaican born governor who has just vetoed reparations. So that's a big issue right there. Because Tariq Nasheed just did a live on that. I haven't listened to it yet, but I've seen the title. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. But a lot of those people come over here. You know, they may have intact families or not. Some do have to come over here on the struggle, but a lot of them are doing well in those other countries. They have money. They come over here And they have an intact family, they got good decent values, they put stuff together and they get some relative successful kids. But then at that point, after a couple generations, they get the thumb in their nose at American blacks. And see, that is where
Yeah.
my contention would be.
Yeah,
Let me
it's the
let me let
same.
me. Oh,
Hold
my
on.
bad, Jay. My bad.
Go, Jay.
Real quick, I'm gonna just say it's the same thing they did post slavery between blacks and poor white people. They just were allowed to use it because it was right in front of your face with your skin color. The rich and wealthy said, "Hey, you're better than them." They're come because the blacks were trained because they had all they had the jobs, so it's easier for them to get jobs because they were skilled craftsmen, they were skilled workers. So they say, hey, poor white guys, those black guys are going to take your jobs and da 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 da. So it fueled that separation between the two when they both were at financially on the same level. Where they do now with the Africans, our image is out there in public, and they say, "Oh no, I'm not like y'all Black Americans. I'm better than y'all because we strive for excellence over here. Our education, like you Nigerian education, and yada yada yada. So now there's that separation, even though the complexion is the same.
Right.
Now it's a different like a East like Indians do the caste system now. They can look down on us because it's like I'm better than you guys. I'm not a Black American.
Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer.
So they use different things to divide and conquer us. So
Can I? I'm about to slide out of here, but I do want to just give my little 2 cents on that. First of all, first and foremost, FBA all day. Um, and I think that it's important to draw a line in Black Americans because our culture has been packaged and shipped all around the world, and it's so easy for people to cosplay Black Americans. And yes, HQ, you're right. If African dude or somebody from the Dominican Republic or wherever get pulled over by the cops, to that cop, he's just an N word. But that's to the outside forces. For us, we have to put a wall up around our culture because it's so manipulated and we can't control our narrative. We can't control our image if we don't control who we are as a people and isolate it. Because no matter what, if you're not a foundational Black American, you have another culture to fall back on all the time. And the things that happen to us are not going to be felt as strongly as it will because you still have your own culture and your own system that you were raised on and raised in. When we were speaking on sinners, when Tara came up to speak, he has said that he understands now. He's doing more research, but he didn't really understand the movie because he's not foundationally Black American, and we have to protect our culture. We always inviting somebody to the barbecue. We always, oh, they can. No, we have to set up some standards, and it will help us have more power and control, and it'll help us become a more tight knit community when we do set these walls up of who we are. It's not saying that we don't like nobody else, but it's so easy for people to disrespect us and do things with our image when we don't control our image, and we can put things in position for ourselves when we fully embrace the separation. Because yes, everybody been moved around and went through a lot of stuff. Black people been shipped all over the world. But if we can separate who we are and our experience as FBA, we can have a lot more control as a community, and we can define what our culture is so that it doesn't have to be judged, questioned, and criticized by all of these outsiders because we can't really do the same to them. And we respect other people culture enough to not criticize them, but everybody can say what they want to say about Black American people all day long.
All
So
day long. Yes, y'all hit
FBA
the
all
like
day.
button. Hit that like button. It's 37. I see 20. Come on, we need some more likes out of here, y'all. 37 of y'all. Come on. We need likes, super chat, cash apps, please. Thank you very much. I said please 3-4 times. We need the like buttons and the shares. Why y'all hoarding the likes and the shares? Come on. Everybody, it's simple. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Like and share. Please. What's this vote conservative stuff? Jay, what does that mean?
Well, you know, like the Key and Peele had a skit back in the day. Malcolm Jamal Warner was on the skit with them when they was all black conservatives. They was all dressed the same. They all looked the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, we are not a monolith. You know, they had that whole thing. So people look at black conservatives and you automatically put them into one group, one box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, and I fit some of the stereotypes. I'm more conservative now later in life, and I don't agree with all the nonsense that they do. I honestly look at both sides like y'all both wrong. We need to tear it all down and start over with the people. But there's certain things that I look at and I'm like, there's some stuff got to change, and it comes, even though they come with some bad stuff.
You said
What's
you're
that?
conservative. You said you're conservative.
I'm more conservative. I'm more conservative later in life. Yes, now, yes. Whereas before I was more liberal.
Oh, okay.
Fiscally conservative, and I believe in I believe in less governing.
Y'all got it.
I believe the people need to be controlling more of what government. And I believe government starts at the bottom. It starts at your town, your county, your city, your state. And then it goes up to the larger government. But I don't think a lot of stuff even needs to get up to that when you can control things at on a smaller government level. Voting in candidates that have your best interest, candidates that come from your communities and understand your communities.
So it needs to start. It needs to start locally. I believe that it needs to start locally, and because there's no way. Well, you're gonna get small government. They tearing down the government. Don't know why, but they're trying to tear down the government.
Yeah, and being able to protect yourself, the First Amendment right, the freedom of speech, and then the Second Amendment right is second to back up that first one, the right to bear arms, and then and not take that away from us.
Well,
because certain people don't respect it.
I see this particular time in which people trying to control what the narrative is by jailing or trying to threaten journalists or trying to sue journalists. I have a problem with that. I specifically have a problem with the president trying to sue people because they say things he don't like or say things that put out articles that he don't like.
No one should do that. No, I don't care who they are. Because I don't care, conservative, liberal. I don't care. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Right. A question, Jay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if you had to choose, would you? No, I ain't gonna ask that question.
No, ask it. Come on, HQ. You could come on, HQ. Ask it. I don't shy away from no questions now.
Yeah, you know, go ahead.
A person who shows colorism. Let me do that. A person who shows colorism.
Oh, come on, HQ. You was about to light it up. I said, let's go.
Tyranny is in the house. Tyranny, you in the house? Come on stage. Because you said something the other day that had everybody like holding their breath.
You mean the supermodel has arrived? Uh-oh.
She was in here a minute ago. She may still be here. I don't know if she'll still be here.
I always be looking for a T. I forgot it starts with we need.
We need, yes.
That's a lie.
If you display colorism.
Good evening to some of y'all.
Can that person be pro-black? That's one of Jay's questions.
No.
If you display colorism, you can't be pro-black?
Why did you know she was going to ask you to come up, Tyranny? Look, you see that thumb? You see HQ's beautiful thumbnail? All those beautiful, different looking black people.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it was a different points of view, and she had a different point of view. I just wanted to find out how she felt about it. Why it was such and another thing. Do you have? Why is there black women who have hostility towards our lighter sisters?
I think that as displayed through social media, if that's the lens we're looking at it through social media. I don't know about real. I'm not saying all. I'm not saying most. I'm not saying nothing. But as depicted by social media, I would say that black women appear to be more colorist than anyone else.
See, I didn't understand this the other day when I heard some women on the panel say, she's mixed with black, she ain't black. I mean, she mixed with white, she ain't black. Or she's mixed with Asian, she ain't black. She's half black, dad is black, and the mom is Asian. Do you think they're black?
I think they're mixed. My kids aren't. My society will tell my kids they're black. Society will tell my kids they're black. But to me, you're not going to just negate their whole mom.
Right.
If a white person, they'd be like, I'm white, I'm Irish and Scottish, or I'm whatever. And they'd be like, okay, I'm Italian and whatever. It'd be like, so what are you? And then we just allowed to say, oh, you just white.
But you said,
but if you black and Italian, what are you?
You said it.
Society gonna be like, you black.
Right.
If you align with certain social constructed, mannerisms and the culture and stuff like that. But if my name is, if my name is Raymond and I grew up with my white family and stuff, but my father was black or my mother was black and I talk like this, then you're gonna be like, oh man, you a coon, you know all this, so you're gonna call him all kinds of other stuff.
Right.
Because he grew up in a different culture. It's like, man, is that fair?
So you don't. Why
one person is black, but one person's not black enough.
So why do you get to call me not black if I'm a mixed woman and I say I'm black? Oh, you ain't black. You mixed.
That's what I said in the beginning. You can't take somebody's black card away from them.
Right. You can't take their black card.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a black card. You can't take.
And I don't think it happens in the male community like it does the women's community.
It doesn't.
Several people on panels say, oh, she's mixed with white, she ain't black. Well, what is she? Biracial? Yeah, but society is gonna call her black.
Society's gonna call her black. I say biracial. You both. All of it.
I got an opinion of it. Go ahead, Jay. Finish up, player.
Oh no. And another thing, one more like kind of adjacent or tangential to the colorism part.
Right.
When black women say, "Oh, black men don't love black women. They like light-skinned girls, or they don't love dark-skinned women." No, we don't like ugly women. You are dark-skinned. You just happen to be not attractive. There's a lot of not attractive light-skinned girls that brothers ain't checking for either.
Right.
I used to hate that when I like, oh, y'all don't like dark-skinned girls. No, whatever your name is, you're not cute.
So it doesn't
like you don't look like Kelly Rowland. You don't look like, oh man, it's a lot of
Bernice Burgos, Bria
chocolate, beautiful chocolate women.
She's black.
Who?
Bernice or Burgos or whatever.
I mean, I think she's technically like black and Puerto Rican, but she's super dark. Yeah.
No, the one chick that was in the most recent Jurassic Park movie with the big curly hair. I don't even know her name. She's gorgeous.
Remember the real dark-skinned chick that was going with Leonardo DiCaprio in Django?
That chick in Django.
And the one, Yes Daddy, the one in the house.
Yeah, she was real dressed up, and that was like his chick. But back then they didn't really marry sisters back then.
Right. Oh
yeah.
Shoot. I can't even remember.
Like I love like Lupita Nyong'o. Right. She fine to me.
I mean the whole range. I've only heard the races be challenged on panels with women who say, "Oh, she's mixed race. She ain't black."
It's an easy way to try to disqualify Guerrera. Is what it is.
Oh man,
HQ. It's funny you said that. Crystal Luna tried that with Raquel Rose on an older episode of the Regal Rumble. She did.
Oh, okay.
She tried that. She said that to her, and she asked her. She did it in a sly way, but she asked her, was she a black woman?
Yeah.
And she answered it. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she said she was a black woman, but the fact she tried that.
If you tell me if you have a 1-drop rule, or you tell me that you're black, I accept you for what you say. If you say you black, 1 drop, 2 drops, 10 drops, full drop, it don't matter to me.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody
it's
coming
extreme
for crystal
cases.
tyranny. That's what she said. That he's not coming for tyranny. He's stating he's not coming for crystal tyranny. He's stating a fact. She did that. That's what
Yeah, she
happened.
did that. She did it in a real
He's
slack
not calling her out
way.
of her name.
Yep.
He's not saying nothing negative about her. He's stating what she did. That's what she did, and we all saw it.
Oh, okay. I must not have saw it. I probably
He
went.
went
Yeah.
right. She went right for Raquel's head because Raquel is not heavily melanated, so it's
Right.
easy for the darker skinned black women to come at her and try to discredit her blackness.
So,
Oh yeah.
Kenny, are you
Oh
coming
yeah.
up on the panel or not? Because I know you have a feeling about it. I know you have a feeling about it.
Just
So,
like we do with light skinned cats. Now I got to worry about my son and make sure he ain't no punk.
I just want to know the point. I just want to know the point as to why. I mean, why do you feel as though they're not, if they're mixed with white or whatever, what would they, I mean, if they identify as black, they say they're black, even though they're mixed with white, they're black and Mexican or black and white. Why is it that they can't call themselves black? Or why do you feel as though they're not black? I mean,
Barack Obama.
I just want to know the thought process as to why they would feel like that. I just accept people for what they say. You say you're black, then you one drop, it is what it is. I don't care because it doesn't.
Barack Obama is the first what?
Black president.
Black president.
Right.
Why do we say that?
Right. Because he got one drop. For me, it's because
He's not the first mixed president.
Right.
He's the first black president, and we all say it.
He said he was,
but he's mixed.
Right. So my question is, white is purely women. He said white is white, purely meaning not mixed. If you are the opposite of mixed or are mixed, then you are definitely not white. So what is left? Black. Okay.
It's white is made up though, because if you from I can't say Australia because they were criminals coming from somewhere else. But if you're Norwegian and you're Italian, aren't those they used to not include Italians as or Irish as white.
Irish and Italians weren't considered white.
So, but we say they white
really
now. We say
40s
Jewish
and
people
50s.
white now. So it's like, what's white?
Yeah.
We kind of like we just so in it, man. We love to separate ourselves instead of uniting ourselves. And we just those are all just white and just white.
Jay, I'm gonna say this too. One thing we gotta remember is that there is a level. I agree with what you're saying, but there's a level of racial pride that comes into the game, and everybody ultimately wants to be the top. They want to be the top dog. Every race does to a degree. Right. So
of course they're gonna buy into it because you're gonna be the winner. You want to be the winner.
Everybody wants to be a winner. Like if we have
a black card.
Have
a black card. Somehow.
No, they want to be when Italians and Irish weren't white before, once they accept them into white fold, ain't nobody buck against it because they wanted to be on the winning team. That made them a part of the majority now.
Yeah.
So now we're not on the outskirts no more. We in it. We in it, y'all.
Yeah. I don't really hear a lot of pushback from them, like collectively on a grand scale, on a big stage, saying they don't want to be white.
I've never heard that. I've never heard not one person say that. I've heard Jewish people say that they're not white. I've never heard Irish or Italian.
Question for Tierney. She got on the stage. So why do you feel? Hello, honey.
I'm surprised she even wastes her time talking to ugly guys. You know, we know. I'm surprised Tierney even wastes her time talking to such ugly guys. You know,
Tierney's a baby. She's a
sure. Go ahead, HQ. I'm sorry.
A question. You apparently, I'm going by what you did, what you think. You apparently think mixture of white and black does not make them black. Why do you think that? Or am I wrong?
No, I feel like if you mixed, I feel like you have the option to choose which side you want to be more like. And I feel like a lot of mixed people, especially when they're mixed with Caucasian, they choose their white side. I'm not saying all of them, But I'm saying the ones that's mixed, like how y'all tried to say about Crystal and Raquel, because I had the same dispute as well as Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
You can say you're mixed all you want. I mean, you're black all you want to. But if you are mixed and you're siding more with your Caucasian side, to me, you have chosen your Caucasian side. And if you're on here as a mixed woman, because that's why I put my profile picture back with my mixed starter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on here as a mixed woman, but you're saying black women, you guys are big backs and it's just fat and oh my gosh, the black women, but you are a so-called black woman, right? So if you're deciding to split the conversation and talk about the so-called black woman that you say you are, then most likely you're resonating more with your Caucasian side. That's
I
how
Mm,
don't, I don't understand that at all.
I don't get that
I mean
part.
Man,
that's
man, hold on. Okay. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I kind of understand what you're saying.
because my daughter's mixed, right?
Because okay, I hate this example. I don't want to do it. Raquel or women like Raquel have white mothers.
Hmm.
So are you saying because she's raised with a white woman, she cannot criticize black women because she's not a black woman, she's a white woman?
No, I'm saying if most of your criticism is against black people, black women, then that shows the way that your upbringing in that house was. I've seen a lot of mixed women that was raised with white women, white mothers. They themselves have said that their mothers will tell them, you're better than those darker skinned women. They'll tell them, don't go hanging out with them black
Oh,
girls. And,
okay.
and, and, that, and that is not from my opinion. That is literally from things that mixed girls have come up and said. Like I stated, my daughter is mixed, but I have let her know
Hmm.
in the black community, mostly black women, and we see that you're mixed, and we're going to listen to what you're saying more. And if you're over there resonating mostly with the Caucasian race or the opposite race, then we're going to automatically place you as the opposite race. But if we can see that you can relate to our struggle more, then we're going to put you, okay, that's a black girl right there. But ain't nobody trying to be friends with no mixed white girl that thinks that she got more white privilege, which she does by default, she does, but you're projecting that on these panels.
So
Ah,
one sec, can I ask a question,
okay,
Tyranny?
now I got
Go
it.
It,
ahead, Jay. Go. You
it,
go. Oh,
say I was adopted from childbirth and I was isolated only to a white community,
Hmm.
right? Am I black? I only
Yes,
have a white experience,
yeah.
even though I look different. I got hookah shells on.
And you look black, but
I'm
you only
black,
assimilated into black. You black.
but I don't have no connection with the black community.
If you don't have
Am
any,
am I am I
What do you
still
mean?
black?
you
What do you mean
still
you have no connection with the black community?
I was adopted by a white family and taken out to freaking Smallville
right.
and raised with all white people. Went to I was the only chocolate dot in the whole town. All I know is white culture, white community, anything that's involved in that. Am I still black?
You're still a black man. Like, what do you mean?
So
Just because you
why?
moved
So
around with
why,
No,
if
no, I
somebody
get it.
is
I got it.
mixed,
I got exactly. I got it. Black
yeah.
man here said it in the comments right there. He said, when you're half a thing, half black or white, or you don't fully have the black culture down pat, or we're not raised with the black culture down pat, you have to prove yourself to be a real black or be sympathetic to the real blacks. And when you get on a panel and that's all you do is downgrade black women, we look at you sideways. Am I
she
right,
don't
Tony?
only downgrade
No,
back
that's
women.
what I'm
She
saying.
holds people
Yeah, that's not
accountable.
really the case.
Hold
Holding people accountable for their
no,
actions and the
no,
things that
that's
they
not.
do is not down talking them.
That's not because you guys never hold any other race accountable for their sins. You
But
guys,
what are you talking? I just called out Bro Vicky.
in totality, we're not talking about a
You're
stereotype.
lying.
We
You're
call
lying.
black men
I
out all
just
the
called. I
time.
just
Are you
called
playing
out
black?
White Vicky and
Don't
in
jump
the
on the
Catch
black
Me
girl.
Outside girl.
Don't jump on the black
See,
girl.
now you
Okay,
playing
I'm
victim. Now
not
you
talking
playing victim.
about one
We're
of.
not jumping
Can
on
I,
you.
can I
Hold
finish?
on, hold on, y'all. Let me
Thank
finish.
you.
Let me
Because
finish.
I'm
I
not
was
going to allow you to
before
sit up here
you
and play
guys
victim.
was on.
Finish.
Before you guys was on SB.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. This is the problem. It just clicked into my head completely. It clicked in my head. I kind of had that idea, but now I get where Crystal Luna may have come from, and maybe some of where Tierney came from. I get it. You get on a panel, you're on a panel, and you were raised white. You're raised as a white girl because most kids take on the culture of their mother. She's raised mostly they do. They follow their mother. Their mother is their person. Most of the time, the mother is that child's person. So therefore, they mimic and do things like their mother. Most kids do. Dad has influence, but hold on. Dad has influences, but mostly the kid follows the example of the mother, specifically girls. So when we have a woman who is mixed, who gets on a panel, and now you don't hear positive thing, you don't hear you don't know. I'm saying from the outside, that's all I'm saying. I don't look at it that way. From the outside, all you hear, you get on a panel and you're denigrating black women, fat women, black women, don't matter. And we don't hear positivity things from you. We only hear negative things from you. We feel some type of way. They feel some type of way. I'm saying some people may feel some type of way. So I'm saying this may be where this is coming from, or this may be why there's hostility. Why is there hostility on those women's part? There's got to be a reason for the hostility that comes from Crystal Luna. I'm not saying, wait a minute, hold on. You can feel how you want to feel, but you can't invalidate people's feelings. People are feel the way they feel, and that you can't invalidate those. So my whole point is they feel the way they feel. So the whole point is it may not be justified. Hey, look, I don't like white people coming outside with shorts on, but they do it anyway. They still getting. I'm just saying,
Right.
how people feel.
HQ.
But I'm just saying, people feel how they feel, and they feel like if you're mixed and you're raised by a white woman, you shouldn't have your ass on a panel denigrating black women. And you're not considered a black woman to some of the women. I'm just saying.
My thing is, Jay, go ahead. I
Please.
want to get in next. Go
It
ahead.
ain't my thought. It ain't my thought. I'm just saying.
Can I
I think
please?
that's where it is.
You guys are making a huge assumption that her father had nothing to do with her upbringing and that she only gleaned her culture or her understanding from her mom.
But
Because
a woman
that's the same
teaches
thing
a
for
woman how to be a woman. A woman teaches a girl how to be a woman.
Oh, so
right?
you're cutting off people too, though.
Okay, but could be correct.
Okay.
A woman teaches a girl how to be a woman.
All right, Tyranny, I got you.
All right, Jay.
All right.
Then you jump on them.
So
Let them finish.
you saying my kids don't get anything from me? They don't
We didn't say
understand
anything.
none of this. They don't say.
We didn't
But
say anything.
so you're saying that Raquel is not allowed to criticize the negative things that we're talking about when we're talking about the black community. Our culture is driven by our women. The standard for the men in our culture is driven by the women. When women lower their standard, the men's requirements lower. If I can get the cookie easy, I know I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to be this guy anymore. I could be a Pookie, Ray Ray, and Nug Nug because the women accept it. They don't care. So the women in every community drive the culture. If we want to raise the culture in the black community, our women have to raise their standard. And when we look on social media constantly, day in and day out, and see women behaving the way they do, and I know it sucks, Tyranny, because it sucks for me when I see a black man acting a certain way or being treated a certain way on television. I know, I understand it sucks because that's us, Tyranny. I understand it. So when you
Yeah.
see,
Jay, fully black women do not want to see no half white women on there downgrading black women.
Look, this my thing.
Hey, hold on. Let it land. I
so are
think I
you going
said
to
it right.
judge? I thought you
I
said
think
you
I
don't
said it
judge
right.
those people.
I'm not saying me. I'm speaking. I'm articulating what I think it is. That's what it is.
But it don't
It can
matter
be right or
who
wrong.
it
It can
is.
be right or
It they,
wrong.
a person might not be the messenger, but what is the message though? Did they lie? But did they lie?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm
my
saying. Are they
yeah.
lying on you? If they're talking about all black women do this, yeah, I'm like, oh, that's a broad stroke. You can't say
Wait a
that.
minute.
But
I'm
if they
speaking
say
for.
if this is a common thing for this type of person to be doing this, if we see it day in and day out, then we can talk about it, regardless of who the
Okay,
person
can I
is.
comment?
I'm
Because
speaking
we
for Tyranny. Let me stop. Tyranny, you speak for yourself. Did I
Right.
say? Did I say? Did I say that correctly?
Did you say what?
Did I say that correctly? Fully black women don't want to see no half woman who's raised by a white woman on a panel downgrading other black women, fully black women. Did I say that correctly?
Mm,
If I'm wrong,
45%,
just
yes.
huh?
I would say 45% sure because we know what they're being taught in the home is different. We know that there is, what is it called? They're taught that they have certain privilege because of their looks. Look, people like women like Rockwell. We're not talking about Rockwell specifically, but women like Rockwell do not have to go through colorism at the work industry. She will never
same
not
here.
Either a
Hey,
woman is
you
fine.
guys, stop.
I ain't even
She
spoke
will
yet, but
never
go
not
ahead.
get a job because she's too dark. She will never get pulled over by the police and assumed that she will have a bad attitude because of her darker skin complexion. She can say all she wants that she's mixed with black, sure. But there are certain things that she will not have to go through because of her skin tone. So when we see that, and then we see and hear, sure, you can criticize the one half of you, but do you come on panels criticizing the other? Do you come on panels criticizing the white culture?
But
No.
we don't talk about that white
But
culture.
that's
We
the
talk about
thing.
our
If you're
culture.
going to criticize women, you criticize women. You
But
don't
she
only
speaks on the
stick to
topics we're
one
talking
half.
about.
You don't only stick to one half of the spectrum, especially if you have experience from both halves. Because she has
No,
a Caucasian mother, which I didn't know that. You guys expressed that now. She has a Caucasian mother. She has a Caucasian aunt. She has a Caucasian grandmother. So you mean to tell me that none of your Caucasian family is ratchet too? You mean to
HQ
tell
on the
me that
HQ on
only
the
your
Regal
black
Rumble. Was there
side?
not a white lady that the SBC brought up on the thing that they were
Yo,
talking
y'all,
about? She had that big
SCP
old
has been
mole on
going
her
for how
face.
many years? And if you're telling me about one example, like, stop, bro.
I'm saying that when a white woman is up on there, Beckisha, they call her, they talk about it as well.
But
Whoever
we're
is
talking
the
about,
person under the topic, that's what they're talking about. They have HQ and Raquel up there to discuss the person on the screen. If it's
right, but
predominantly
HQ is
black
a
women,
middle
she's
ground.
going to talk about them.
HQ is a middle ground person.
HQ is not a middle ground person.
Me and Crystal are pro freaking black.
Hyenas.
We're black
Hyenas.
power straight
Black.
up.
Wait a
Hyenas.
minute.
And
Crystal is a pro-black. Oh my
And peace,
goodness.
family.
yes,
May I
Hold
get
on,
in
hold on,
one?
hold on, hold on, hold
Yes,
on.
man.
We have a person that says they're mulatto.
he's very controversial. So
Oh, I don't care. It don't matter as
Peace,
long as
family.
you go to that pocket. So, question, sir. What do you have to add to the conversation as far as mulatto?
Yes, and it'll be brief. You'll notice that Tyranny, and I say this with love, she is not mulatto, but somehow she is able to tell mulattoes what we do and do not go through. Just as she says that we as mulattoes should not speak on the black experience, how can she, as a black, fix her mouth to say what mulattoes go through? And my point is to land my plane, to keep it brief as possible.
Mhm.
Anyone has a right to criticize anyone. So if we as mulattoes, especially since we have black ancestry and white ancestry, we as mulattoes, we have a right to criticize and make assessments on the
About
black
both.
community and
About
the white
both.
community.
But y'all never talk about your caucus. You only talk about the black race, and I have the right to talk
That's what I'm
Well,
about a
saying
mulatto
here. You
because
well,
don't
I'm
know
actually,
that.
that's
raising
not.
mulattoes. What are we
One mic
talking
at a
about?
time. One
Y'all
mic at a
never
time.
one
talk
Actually,
about white
one mic
people.
one,
well, actually, one mic at a time. You can literally go to my page, and you'll see. Not only do I criticize the whites, actually, professionally, I'm a lobbyist, and I have challenged not just Republicans, but also Democrats on policies that have an adverse effect on the Black American community as well as the mulatto American community. So, with all due respect, you don't know who you're talking to.
Okay, like I
Respectfully.
said, I'm raising mixed children. And like Project Leroy saying,
Oh my
criticize,
God.
but y'all are not part of the solution. Y'all never have, it's always the black people this and the black people that. But you never say what your white people can do to help your so-called black community.
Now,
Y'all stop
Tyranny, with all due respect, now you just
it.
brought up your children. I did not bring up your children, and I won't speak on your children negatively. My question is, do you tell your mixed race children that they
Mhm.
don't have no input on the black community
I
and that
let
they
my
need to stay
mixed
in their
race
place?
children know that they are mixed. So you
Yes.
cannot walk into the black culture and just
Uh-huh.
start criticizing black people because you
Why
are
not?
mixed.
Why
Because
not?
you can't do that. You'll
Why
get beat
can't they?
up. You
Why
can't.
Whoa,
not?
whoa, whoa, whoa.
You'll
Well,
get beat up.
number one, hold on. You need to teach your kids how to defend themselves as mulattoes. Number one, we will not be threatened as
Yeah.
mulattoes. We won't allow the blacks or the whites to threaten us, really. And the point
Well,
is this: your
mhm.
mulatto children, your mixed race children, pardon me if you don't agree with the terminology mulatto, they have a right to criticize the community that they are a part of, just as the blacks have a right to criticize mulattoes if they feel like we're doing something that does not benefit them.
Yes, but I'm
Really.
telling my daughter, you gonna get your ass whooped if you walk over there to black women and you start criticizing them and you calling yourself black. That's just
So
it
you
is
say,
what it is.
are you
It
saying
is
that
what it
black women? Are you saying that black women have a right to whip your mulatto daughters' asses? Is that what you teaching them?
because she's looked at as not a full black woman.
It
It
don't
is
matter
what
what
it
she look
is.
By
like as. I'm asking a
who?
question. You
By
saying
the
they have a
black
right?
community. By the black
Well,
community.
I say this for the
No.
record. Your daughters have a right to whip them black women's asses if they attack her. That's a fact.
Ain't nobody
Barack
talking
Obama was
about
the first
ain't
what?
nobody talking
HQ?
about self-defense. I'm just letting her know, be prepared that if you walk into a group of black women, all black, and you start saying, yeah, them black bitches this and them black bitches that, they gonna look at her like, who the fuck you talking about?
Who
Because
would
you
do
mixed,
that?
you're not one of us. It is so
And
y'all
listen,
walk up
we
That
there
not
was just
claiming to
that would
be.
be just disrespectful though.
We
Why
not
would she
claiming.
how
go
is
into a
that
group
how
of
is
black
that
women and start calling
disrespect?
them
It
bees?
is what
Why
it
would she go into a
is.
group of black women and start calling them bees?
Hold on, but one mic at a time because
Exactly
this.
our point, Jay. Hold on,
All
Pierre.
right, go ahead, Tyranny.
Jay,
Go ahead.
exactly our point. Why would you go on to
That's not
SBC or any black
criticizing them though.
panel
That's
and you
disrespecting
start
them.
Hold on,
criticizing
but
black
y'all speeding
women?
past it.
hold
Y'all
on,
I'm
speeding
hold
past the
on,
saying
point.
hold on. Let Tierney finish.
that's
All right, and please
exactly
let me
what
go
we're
after her. Go ahead, Tyranny.
okay. I'm sorry, Mulatto, but that's exactly what we're saying, Jay. Like you said it yourself. Why would you go on a group of all black panel and as a mixed woman that don't even look like it?
No,
And
you
now
moving the
you're just
goalpost.
criticizing. Come
You're
on, and
moving the
but
goalpost.
hey, we'll take the criticism, Jay and Mulatto and Triple. We'll take it, but we better hear you criticizing your other half too.
But is she
Well,
lying though?
hold on. Well, that part is
Is
she
the
lying? And then
criticism
number two,
warranted?
let's not speed past the threat of violence that a lot of mulattoes experience if we speak out
Exactly.
against the blacks or the whites. Listen, we as mulattoes, we're not afraid. We will not be threatened off our square. We will speak on the truth and we will defend ourselves
But
with
you
our
don't give
lives
the
if it takes it. If
but you
that's what it
don't give the
takes.
truth about your caucus people. Do y'all hear what I'm
Hold on,
saying?
why you keep
How do
repeating
you
that lie
know
though?
that? Why do
Yeah,
you
why you
keep
keep
saying
repeating
that
that
when
lie?
you don't know? Are you in those
I have
spaces?
never seen
Are you
a
in
mixed
those
race man
spaces?
go
Well,
on
let's
a
give
panel of
examples. Hold on,
Caucasian
let's
people
give
and
examples.
start downing Caucasian
What
people
what
because
Tara,
they
let's
know better.
Carolyn, let me give you some examples. You had Huey P. Newton, that was a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Malcolm X, that was a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Frederick Douglass, that was a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Angela Davis, that's a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Rosa Parks, that's a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Nat Turner, that's a mulatto
I
that
don't
stood
know
up
why
against the
you calling
whites.
all these people mixed. So honestly, what you just said is completely
The
debunked.
DNA don't lie.
Because
The
you just
DNA don't lie.
and now you
The
know these
DNA
people
does
so
not
called.
lie.
So what you just said is absolutely debunked. But like
Yeah,
I stated, especially if you don't look the part, bro. Sorry, this world goes by looks. Y'all know that. That's why I said mixed. A lot of mixed women that look like Raquel and my daughter, they're not going to go through the black woman experience. Period.
Yeah, but they're
I
gonna
have,
tyranny. You
I
don't
have, because of
understand
my
the
name,
mixed.
because of the color of my skin, because of how I speak, because of where I'm from, I have been judged off of that. But when you have
Okay,
women that do not look like us, that do not, their mom taught them how to speak more proper like this, they are going to go through a different experience than us. So you
yeah.
have to tread lightly.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And
I
they are
mean,
going through a
listen,
different experience because they get it from both sides. You
what
ever think you ever if you got a white mom or white dad and a black mom or black dad or whatever, and you're mixed, and all the time you got to find your identity. Because if you tend to like certain, if you like a little bit of rock, oh, you more white. Or if you black, or are you ain't black enough because you're
And
too
what
light skinned, your
and with
hair's
all due
too
respect,
straight. So tyranny, they're getting it from both sides
you're
of
right.
unacceptance.
oh,
You're
hold on,
It
right.
has
but
nothing to
please,
do with them
I
being
would
dark skinned and getting pulled over in the car because somebody might think they have an attitude.
I
You're
would
Yes.
like
getting
to
it
correct
from
the
both
record though,
sides.
please. I would like to correct the record. Literally, I just named a number of mulattoes that stood up against the whites, and tyranny said that I was lying. With all due respect, are you able to articulate which one of those people that I just named was not a mulatto?
I'm going to say all of them because I haven't heard of one of them actually being mixed with Caucasian. So
Well, let's go
until
one
I
step
know,
at a time. So you
until
saying
I
Malcolm X
know
Malcolm
is
this,
X?
all red because he had red hair.
hold on. Here's a question. Here's a
you
question.
know,
Here's
so
a
Yeah, like
question.
every step.
Here's a question. Here's a question.
All right,
So are
I gotta
you
go
saying?
HQ. I gotta go
So
pick up my daughter.
oh, okay. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay.
I don't want
Thank
to
you.
bow. I'm gonna try to get back quick. I'm gonna
boo.
try to get back
Yeah,
quick.
bring your butt back.
So the question I have is, mulatto, you consider yourself mixed. So do you, and you say you speak on both sides of the panel. You criticize and praise both sides, right? Okay. So you don't look at a person, you don't look at a mulatto person as better than black people or better than white people. If you had a choice, which one would you be, black or white?
I would be a mulatto. I love myself. I love what I am.
Okay. Or maybe it's because you have no. See, here's the thing I have. If you choose to come over on the black side, you choose to come over on the black side. Let's take, for example, the lady that was in the movie Sinners, the white lady or the mixed lady that was in Sinners. She was mixed. She could pass. My question is this: if you could pass, would you still pick black, or would you
With
pick
all due
white?
respect,
My
with all
whole
due
point is,
respect,
hold on,
I'm
hold
trying to
on, hold
answer you.
on, hold
Well,
on.
I thought you
My
asked me a
point is
question.
this. My point is this. Most don't have the choice. So are they just picking coming over as black because it's just a default? They can't do nothing but be black? Or is it an absolute choice? Because if you look at Raquel can choose to either be black or mixed. I'm saying, in look wise, I can look at her and I can say she could pass for white if she wanted to.
You
Had
think she could pass
All
for
right,
white?
was it a question in there?
no,
I'm
no, wait a minute.
confused.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing. Yeah, now that we know she's mixed. But if you would have saw her on the street, you probably would have thought she looks black. She looks white. Well, to me, she looks like she could pass. If she did certain things, she could probably pass. And that's the only way I have issue with it. If you have the choice to jump from back and forth and you choose
I
to come over on the black side, okay, cool. But
yeah.
don't you stay on this side. Don't jump from one to the other and then get over and then criticize on the black side. But then you get over on the other side, and then it's like, I don't know none of the black stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm saying this may be an issue some way, somehow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, she looks unambiguous. You could say she that, but I don't see a white woman when I see her.
Because she said she's black, but if she would have said,
even if she did not say it, and I seen her out somewhere, I don't see a white woman. I mean, to me, clearly she's not white.
I would never have thought she was black.
That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's an absolute HQ, but to me, I don't see a white woman like when I see her. I look at somebody like Jennifer Lawrence or Carmen Electra. That's a white woman. She don't look quite like that. I mean,
no,
you could
not
say
quite. Not quite.
Yeah, but she don't look white. Either she look white or not. She does not look like those girls.
To me, I'm saying to me. To you, it's a different story.
Yeah. If she looks like that to you, that's fine. It's something else I want to address.
She told me it was so I see it. So I see it in her because she told me she was.
Yeah, so it's influence, but I wouldn't see her if I was hanging out and be like, "That's a white girl." That's not me. But I want to say something about Tyranny though. Right. Like what she's saying, what I mentioned earlier when I seen her and Crystal on the panel, and they was debating back and forth, going back and forth. Mm-hmm. She clearly stated she was a black woman. That was her position. She didn't say I'm a mixed girl or whatever. She said I'm a black woman because that was the direct question that was asked by Crystal. She asked her, "Are you a black woman?" And she said, "Yeah." Yeah, that's what was said. Now, of course, I can't speak for her. She has to come up here another day or whenever she sees this, and she can elaborate more on that. Yeah, but
if she don't want to, my whole thing is this.
All right.
My whole thing is that I'm playing the devil's advocate. It's not how I think. The devil's advocate. So I'm saying because to me, she could pass. That's just me.
Can you name another white woman that looks exactly like Raquel that we can use as a frame of reference? Name three.
There are a lot of celebrity women that look like her, and you wouldn't even know.
White women, celebrity white
women,
not
Brittany,
celebrity
that lady
women,
named Brittany. That lady named Brittany who scammed all those men out of. Brittany, the lady who scammed all the black athletes out of their money. That Brittany chick.
Brittany is mixed. She's not. That's another mixed girl. That's another mixed girl.
Well, and the point is, and I've been trying to get it.
Mariah Carey too. I'm saying
Mariah's mixed.
So is Raquel.
That's what we're saying. These people are mixed.
White women. The point. Said, can you name another absolute white woman that's not mixed that looks like Raquel? Is the question. I said white woman. If you say Jennifer Lawrence, Jessica Alba, any of those, like what are we talking about? It's tons of white women out there. Katie Holmes, those are white girls.
Those are some example of white girls. They are not the white girl complete look. Like,
can you name some white girls?
I don't care white women faces like that to be like.
All right.
But what's the purpose of the question? Because regardless, a mulatto is a mulatto, bro.
Yes,
we're not black or white.
Right. I'm just
saying. Go ahead.
I'm saying to me, she may look a different way, but that's okay. I'm saying this is maybe why there's an issue with the panel thing because of that. I'm just saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But I'm saying everybody was saying, well, we can't be SBA and we all black folk ain't the same and blah, blah, blah. Do y'all make distinctions when they're mixed? Do we make distinctions when people are mixed? Or we don't make distinctions when people are mixed? Or do we just say, oh, okay, they're mixed and they come on our side? Because if you're gonna make a distinction between the what is that? African American, the Africans that come over here, then you can also make a case for the mulatto people who are raised by white people or raised with a white mother. You can still make that case. Yes or no?
Yes, we're different. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Mulattoes are not the same as blacks, just like we're not the same as whites.
I'm so glad you said that. So now you understand where we're coming from. When you just admitted that you're different, you're not the same as blacks, and then you come on a black panel degrading blacks. What are we talking about?
Who
That's
did
what I'm
I
saying. It's
degrade?
You do
Hold
know
on, hold on, hold
that's
on, hold
his
on. Let me
position
respond to
though.
her. Let me respond to her.
You did say that.
Who did I
You did say
degrade
that.
respectfully?
what, Malala, we're not talking about you. We're not. We were talking about mixed women.
Well, you said you, so I mean, you gotta speak clearly with
You
all due
as in
respect.
your
You
people,
said
your kind, you people,
So have
you,
blacks?
you're
With all due
mixed
respect,
people.
I heard you. Let me respond. Watch how brief my response is. Actually, we can play that game both ways. Have blacks not disrespected mulattoes? Even on this panel, you told us what mulattoes went through and what we don't go through, even though you're not a mulatto, right?
Yeah. It only becomes disrespectful. We only become disrespectful to y'all when you come and when you come on these. I feel like I repeat myself, bro. When you come on these panels and you're only downing black people.
But that's the point. Who
Okay,
on this panel disrespected black people?
we're not talking. We're just having speaking in general, right? I mean, we're not
But you
talking
did
about
it
just
on this, and I'm
plural.
not, I'm
not.
not upset about it. And that's the point right there. You see that when blacks criticize mulattoes, I don't get in my feelings. But when mulattoes criticize blacks, y'all start whining and crying about it.
But how do we criticize you when you literally just admitted that mulattoes are not blacks? You literally just. So how are we
Well,
criticizing
no, no,
y'all
you're
when we
not.
say
You
you
have
ain't black?
selective. With all due respect, you have selective comprehension. The way you
Okay, well,
degraded
it's
the
not no.
mulattoes
There's
is
no
when you brought
due
up.
respect because that's
My
disrespectful.
God.
But you literally just admitted that mulattoes are not blacks. Am I wrong? Didn't you just say that?
Yes, we're not the same. We're not the same.
Okay, and when blacks say you guys are not the same, how is that us disrespecting you? We're
No, I didn't
agreeing.
say. I didn't.
Wait a
No,
minute.
I didn't
Hold
say
on.
that. That
Hold
was.
on. Hold
I
on.
didn't say
Hold
that.
on.
That was
Hold
a
on.
disrespect.
Hold on. Hold on. Mulatto, why are you not the same?
Because we are genetically different. We have Caucasian ancestry that makes us different biologically. Just like a coffee is not the same as a latte. A latte has milk in it. With all due respect.
Mm.
Okay.
So you still consider yourself black, or you don't consider yourself black?
With all due respect, my name is Pan Mulattoism. I'm a mulatto, first and foremost.
No. You said one drop of chocolate, one drop of milk in it don't make you black. So you don't consider yourself black. You just consider
Well,
yourself
I
mixed.
said it more than once. What I said was a latte is not the same as black coffee. The latte has milk in it. The mulatto has European ancestry. The black does not.
Mm,
Mm.
okay, so you're different. So you're not a black
Yes.
person. You're
I'm not
different.
black.
Okay. All right. You're not a black.
Okay.
He said that. I don't have selective comprehension. I'm just trying to understand exactly what he means. He says he's not black. He says he's mixed.
Yes.
Okay. Fine and
Yes.
dandy.
And
So
the
all,
reason, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The reason that this is very important is because if I was to sit here, I'm black and I'm black and I'm black and I'm black, the mulatto youth that hear this, they may think that they are also black. And when they go out into the real world, the actual blacks will say, no, you're not one of us. It instills an identity crisis in the mulatto youth if I tell mulattoes that they are black. No, we're not black. We're mulatto. Just like we're not white.
See, this is why I like mulatto, even though he get on everybody's nerves. So, do you think that is disingenuous when a mixed person comes on here and they're talking down on the black culture as if they are black, but really they're a mulatto and they know that internally?
And I want to respond to you directly, and it'll be brief. It's always disingenuous anytime a mulatto pretends to be black or white. Always. But mulattoes have a right to criticize the blacks and the whites,
Sure,
undoubtedly.
sure, agreed,
Mm,
agreed.
mm, okay. So when they get arrested and you get arrested, somebody said when you get arrested, does that make you? Do they care whether you mulatto or black? They don't care whether you mulatto or black.
Well,
One
the
drop.
person that asked that may not have been arrested before. I unfortunately have. And
Mhm,
they asked you, what is your racial background? You have a right to say other and write in mulatto. You
mm,
don't have to choose to be
Oh,
black or white.
mm.
all right. Okay. Then that works. Okay. So he's mulatto. He's not black or white. He's mulatto. Okay, I got you. Thank you. So you can talk on this topic. So my whole point is it, and Ray and Tierney can speak on this. So you just said, are you going to teach your children, because you have children that are mixed and children that are not mixed? Are you going to teach them that they're mixed, or are you going to teach them that they're just black, right along with the other black children that you have? Or I'm not sure whether you have other children that are completely black. I'm
You
not
talking
sure.
to me or mulatto?
I'm talking to you, yes. You.
Yes, I have had this conversation with my oldest son, and I have let him know your brother looks different than you, and he is going to go through things that are different than you. So yeah, I absolutely have these real life conversations with my kids. They'll even ask mommy, why is his hair different? What am I supposed to say? I mean, the truth is the truth, because you guys are mixed and he is not. So yes, yes, I let them know it's going to be a cultural difference with them.
So did you get that same conditioning when you were growing up, Pan?
Well, thank God both of my parents are mulattoes, so I didn't really have with all due respect, I didn't have the identity crisis of am I black, am I not, am I white. Both of my parents were mulattoes. They look just like me, so I was fortunate. I was blessed in that regard.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have any change in it. See, that's the difference. We don't get to choose. But here's the thing: if it would be different if you got to choose. But maybe you're too dark to choose. I don't know. The whole point is I accept people who they say they are. If you say you're black, you got black in you, or you're mixed, I accept you for who you are, because I don't care one way or the other. I know what I am. I'm black. I have no mixture or anything like that, right? So my thing is, we just have an issue with, how do we accept all black people? Do we accept all black people? Do we accept the African people? Do we distinguish between all of this, that, and the third? I don't believe we can distinguish between that, and the third. I think we all come under the same one drop rule, because folks in this country don't care whether you mixed or whether you're mulatto, whether you whatever. They call you black. Light skinned black, they don't say light skinned black, they just say black. So
But
I just take it as you black.
but internally, they know there's a difference. Issue, can I address a couple of things?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
for one, Rain, first off, nobody's speaking on anyone negatively because they're beautiful or intelligent or respectful. Look, we don't do that jealousy stuff. Okay. I've seen a lot of beautiful mixed women, white women, black women, Mexican women. So that has nothing to do with it. Just stick to the topic. As far as my kids going their separate way, my children adore me because I'm honest with them. And and a lot of parents need to be more honest with their children so they can prepare them for the real world. Don't just prepare them to live up in your house, because they're not going to forever be under your roof. You have to prepare them for what's really out there. And my children respect that mommy is letting them know one of you guys or two of you guys are mixed, and the others, you guys are not. So you are going to go through different experiences. So when you're in the car and you're driving, Ian, you might get treated better because your brother is darker complex than you. That's just a real life conversation. And then last, and nobody kicked me off their panel. I'm not going to deal with a black man or a mixed woman talking down on the black race and have nothing positive to say about it. That's all I.
Okay. Triple X. Yeah, you guys, I ain't seen no cash apps. I ain't seen no super chats or anything like that. Did I get the likes? Did I get the likes that I wanted? Yeah, the likes are free. You can do the likes. Did everybody on the panel do the likes? Please and thank you. We need more likes. We need more likes.
Right. And Rain, yes, she did. The first time I met Raquel, she came up
Hey,
on the
hey,
panel
Tyranny,
insulting.
Tyranny, Tyranny,
Hold
She
on.
came
Tyranny.
Hold
on
on.
the panel
Hey,
Hold on.
insulting
I
my
think you just
husband. She insulted my marriage. The first time she came on the panel, she asked about my children. Look, we can stick to the conversation. That's why you guys asked me to come on the panel. Let's talk about the conversation. But when you have to start questioning where's my husband and questioning my children, that's when it's a problem. So go ahead. What was you about to say?
Triple X.
I was gonna say, I believe HQ said Triple X can speak, and then you jumped in, Tyranny. That's what I
Don't
was.
I got one husband and it's not you. Don't come try to correct me. What was you about to say?
Listen, I'm talking about what HQ said. All
Mm.
right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Paul, what?
What? What? What?
I said what I
What?
said.
What? Hey,
Yeah,
listen.
Popo.
Let me
Go
say this.
ahead,
Let me
Cooper.
say this. My whole thing is not every mixed person is going to have pan mulattoisms perspective.
Right.
Some will say they're mixed. Hey, HQ, how about this? Remember the last time I was up here and we was having a conversation, and I said to you, I date mixed girls every now and then, and I told you my line of questioning and how I approach that. You remember what I said? What did I say?
Wait a minute. I don't know. We were talking about sexual things.
Okay, no, it wasn't sexual. It wasn't sexual.
Okay, then I don't remember it.
All right, but you remember we had that conversation, right?
Yeah, you dated.
Okay, what I said is what I find out early on. If she is a mixed girl, does she consider herself to be a black woman? What is her thoughts and her psychological input and perspective on that? And judging by how she responds to that question is how I proceed, and I know what I'm dealing with, you know, and I decide on how I'm going to play that, you know. So, right, I know a lot of mixed people. A lot of them have, like, some people talk just like him, where they're like, "Hey, I'm mixed, you know. That's what I am. I'm biracial. I'm not black." That's what it is, and that's cool. I don't have no problem with that. And then a lot of them will be like, "I'm black," you know. I'm black. Period. So
do you think
I mean,
black
that's their perspective.
mixed people? Do you think mixed people got a right to be pro-black?
Yeah, that mixed person can be pro-black. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, if that's the perspective that they're playing and they're clinging to. Now, you can't. If you're gonna come out and say that, you can't jump back and forth. You know, you have to come out, you have to claim that, and that's what it has to be. You know, if I see somebody jumping back and forth, I'm not going to take that person serious.
And with all due respect, if I see a mulatto that's pro-black, and then they take a step back, or I would say take a step forward and transition into pan mulattoism, actually, that's them waking up. That's a great thing. So, with all due respect to you, no, a mulatto has a right to change their mind. A mulatto can be pro-black and change their mind into being pro-mulatto, pro
They're free
themselves.
to do what they want, man. You know,
Of
I mean,
course.
they can go drive, they can go run in traffic on the freeway, man. Respectfully, you know, if that's what they want to do, you know. But I'm just simply saying, I know how to move with them.
Well, that's the point right
Right.
there, with all due respect. And you see, I didn't get triggered by that slight little jab about mulattoes running in traffic. But I
No,
have to say this.
no, because it
It's
wasn't
actually,
directed at you. We talking about people in general.
I know, but let's have a
Yeah.
dialogue. Actually, let's have a dialogue. Actually, in
Go
reality,
ahead,
it's the blacks that are running into traffic, because as we and you are speaking right now, the Hispanics, the Asians, the other immigrants are taking over the black communities. If we go to your community, for instance,
What
if you
you
live in a
mean
black,
taking over? They've already came in and Vinny say and
so that means you're already in the traffic, playing in traffic, right?
yeah, but the reality
Checkmate.
is
Uh-huh.
we're aware of listen, we are aware of what's going on.
Okay.
And
But what are you doing
we
about it
need
though?
listen, we need enough people on board. We was talking about this before you came up here, brother. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this. We need we need honestly, we need an honest plan put together so we can start to combat these things and make moves. Okay?
And I hear you.
Collectively.
And let
Okay?
me just say
Jay
one
wants
more
to
All
meet
sentence.
right.
Let me one
HQ.
sentence. Let me just say one sentence.
Jay wants to
I,
meet.
I hear you in theory, but in reality, blacks and whites are making more mulattoes every day.
I don't have a problem with mixed people. If I had a problem with mixed people, I would never interact with them. I would never date them. Like
Well, no, you
what are we
can't.
talking about?
The future generations of your family will be mulattoes, so you cannot have a problem with us. You'll be fighting against nature.
I never had a problem before. I've
Okay.
been around mixed people
Wait a minute, I
my
think you
whole
have
life,
that.
man.
I
My
think
whole
that's
life. What are we
completely.
talking about, man?
Wait a minute. I don't think so. You say mulatto, the future is going to be mulatto. I don't think so. We're not moving we're not moving in numbers like that where they would take over all the black continent. We not your mixed
We
people
are mixed
mixed
nation.
people who are mixed and white people and whatnot are not mixing to the point where they would take over and we would not have all pure black people. That's just
Hey,
not because
and I
Yeah,
hear
you
your point, but can I give you one example? Can I
hold
give you
on,
one example?
hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on. Because our numbers do not support what you're saying. We're not, so our numbers are not supporting that. What is that at a 5 or 6%? It would take centuries before mulattoes would overrun us black folk. That's not how that goes. You have too
Well, let
many
me give you an
people.
example.
You have too many people,
Uh
and
huh.
we marry black people, mostly marry black people, and it's a very small percentage of black people that are married to white people or have children with mixed with white people or any kind of mixture like that. It's a very low number. So them overtaking us is not
Uh
going
huh.
to happen for centuries at a time. It's
You're
not
right.
going to be like
But
that.
let me give you one example. Let me give you one example. Do you know that North Africa actually used to be black, but is majority mulatto now? The same is happening in sub-Saharan Africa as we speak. So yes, it may take centuries. I think it may take less than centuries, but the majority of black families will be succeeded by mulattoes. Your great great grandkids, they will be mulattoes. It's inevitable. It's a part of evolution.
hey Pan, do you know that there's no such thing as pure now? A lot of people don't even know what they have in them. If you get your DNA test, like what's the standard for mulatto? Is it 50-50? Is it multi? Could you be like Mexican, black and white? Like what's the qualifications for mulatto? Because it's like it sounds like you're coming from like a real extremist
Yeah, well,
standpoint.
let me answer that, and it'll be a brief answer. Now, I agree that most blacks in the diaspora are racially mixed, technically mulattoes. I agree with that. But there are people in sub-Saharan Africa and Central Africa, when they take a DNA test, they are 100% African. So they are still pure black people on earth. But I agree the numbers are rapidly decreasing. Definitely.
Location. I mean, yeah, you can be northern, southern, western, eastern African and still be but that like none of us we're all human. None of us like it's all semantics, man.
Oh Lord, we're
I,
all
I, under, I understand where you're coming from, protecting that your origin, your origin story, but none of us are completely anything. So I mean,
Well, can I ask you a question? And this is about race, but I'll give you a metaphor that we are less emotionally attached to. Now, a Shih Tzu and a Poodle and a Pit Bull, they are all dogs. They are the same species, but they are different breeds. Just
Mm-hmm.
like in humans,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you
but we're
have
not. You
with
can't do that. You can't do that.
brother.
It's
That's
not
an
the same.
accurate. But listen to what I'm saying, brother. That's the most accurate comparison I can give you. When we look at cats, you could take a lion and a cougar. Both of them are cats. They're the same species, but they are different breeds. Now, when we translate that to humans, yes, you have sub-Saharan Africans, you have East Asians, and you have Northwestern Europeans. Within the same species, they are all human beings, but they are different breeds. They are different races. Over time, these different breeds of humans are coalescing into one mixed race multitude. Even the Bible, and I'm not religious, even the Bible speaks of the mixed multitude. It's inevitable, my brother.
Yeah, but it's not everybody out there not going to be a poodle Shih Tzu though. So
No, you're not
it's
listening,
like
brother.
as
No,
long
you're
as
not listening. The re
We still gonna always have Dobermans. We still gonna always have
uh-huh.
Rottweilers. We still gonna always have Chihuahuas.
Can I
So
tell you
just
the
like
difference?
HQ was saying, it's still gonna always be just African people. It's still just gonna always be Latinos. It's
And
not gonna
brother,
be just all
are you
mulatto,
preaching
man.
or can we have a dialogue? Because I
I was
got your point.
talking
Can I
though.
respond
I,
to it?
I was
I
I
think
was
what you
talking though.
mean. I think what you mean, mulatto,
All
is
right.
that we're gonna have a specific. We're gonna have some kind of mixture somewhere. Somebody's gonna have two fourths white, one drop white, one drop mulatto, one drop African. But it's gonna.
Exactly.
I mean, yes. So, but we're still gonna be a pure version. There's no pure. It's still gonna be pure versions of those
No,
people.
no, I'm saying that the pure races will be a minority at that point in
No,
time.
No,
And well, brother, please stop cutting me off. I'm trying to respond to the analogy you made about the different dogs. Now, do you know the difference between the different dog breeds and the human breeds? The difference is mass human migration. In order for us to mix all the Shih Tzus and Poodles together, that would take people bringing their dogs from all around the world into one place. But with humans, we're doing that naturally. We're doing that organically, brother. Look at the chain of migration from all over the world into the U.S. and that's just one country. Look at the chain of migration into Europe and South America and the Middle East and into sub-Saharan Africa, brother.
okay,
Naturally, human beings are coming together, and you know what happens when we come together? We have, with all due respect, we fornicate with each other, we procreate with each other. So
I
it's unavoidable, brother.
I get that, but there's a thing that we have that dogs don't have. If you put a whole bunch of dogs, male and
Uh-huh.
females, in a pen, the dogs is gonna mate. We have different cultures. A lot of cultures don't allow us to integrate like we would.
Brother,
Even
are you
when
living the
they're around each other. Come on, man. There's a lot of people that live close proximity to each other that will never integrate with each other.
Well,
On
brother,
mass.
that's why I gave you the example, the greatest
On
example of
mass.
North
It's not
Africa.
gonna happen.
Well, brother, with all due respect, you're in denial. But just look at North Africa as an example. You agree that North Africa used to be majority black, correct?
It was Middle Eastern to me. It was
No,
Northern
no,
Africa.
that's not what I asked you. North Africa used to be majority black. Are you aware of this?
Hmm.
As far as I know, the
Yeah,
world used
but
to
you
be
have to take
majority
into
black
account
until
you.
Pangea
Okay, and
separated.
I'm glad you said that. Now, what happened to where as though North Africa is no longer majority black?
Migration.
Right.
Exactly. Checkmate.
Migration.
Checkmate.
How is that?
He
How is that
always checkmate.
checkmate?
Checkmate. That's checkmate.
How is that checkmate?
He
That's,
always
that's one,
checkmate.
that's one part of
Yeah,
the
but
planet.
yeah, but
Brother, the same.
I'm trying to figure out what's the point. Of course,
I don't know. I don't know
Exactly.
how
hundreds of
I
years
don't
And I
know
can
from
how
now,
tell,
13% of a
hundreds of
population in
years from now,
America. I mean,
hundreds of years.
no, like millennia HQ.
brother. With all due
Millennia.
respect, I can tell your elevator don't go all the way up. Let me respond to the host. With all due respect, because I named North Africa as an example.
HQ, who's
I
your
could have
co-host
said,
today?
What?
brother, please, brother. I
HQ,
could have
who's your
said,
co-host today? HQ.
Jay.
all right, please. Let's not get emotional. Now I named North Africa, but I
No,
could
time
have
out,
said,
time out,
Wait a minute.
fam.
Hold on.
Don't do that. Don't do the
well,
ad
brother, you're
hominem
being
stuff.
emotional,
You
brother.
came
Can
in
we
a
get
little
back to the
bit.
topic?
You came in a little bit later, so you weren't aware that today's topic was my topic that I brought up
All
to
right, so
HQ.
let's discuss the topic. Now I said North Africa.
Get him, Jay.
I
So,
could have
so
said Central
honestly, what you're
America.
doing is you're taking us down a rabbit hole of something that we
This is
don't
not a
even
rabbit
want to
hole,
go into.
brother.
It is a rabbit hole
You're
because it's
afraid of
not
this
the topics
mirror.
that I brought up.
You're afraid of the mirror right
Look in
now,
your
brother.
private chat. Look in your private chat to the right. Can you see those numbers on the right with the words that I posted?
Exactly. So let's have a
The
dialogue
topics that we're
about the
supposed
words
to
you
be talking
posted.
about.
Wait a minute.
Let's
You
have a
see that?
dialogue about the
Wait a
words
minute.
you posted.
Hold on. Why are you telling us that the world is
Yes.
going to be mixed? Wait a minute. Hold on. Why are you telling us that the world is going to be mixed millennia from now when that
Yes.
doesn't matter right now?
Yes. And I'm speaking
It
about the
won't.
future of your. Oh, I'm
Hold on,
trying to answer that.
hold on. It won't make a difference to you or your grandchildren or my grandchildren. Why do we even need to discuss that particular possibility?
All
Because
right.
it's
Can I?
never going. Because
Oh, all
it's
right.
never going to happen in our lifetime where it overtakes being mixed. Will overtake Africanism, white. It's never going to overtake it in our lifetime. So
You want me
therefore,
to answer that?
that's
Oh,
just
all
like
right.
me trying to address hillbillies. I'm never going to be a hillbilly. So therefore, that's not going to be a part of the conversation. Just like what you're saying can't be a part of the conversation because it's never going to happen in our lifetime. And there's nothing we can do to change it or change the trajectory. There's nothing we can do about that. Of course, we have mixed people. Of course, they're going to grow in numbers. Of course, that's going to happen. What is your point in continuing to mention that? There's no point in you
Uh,
mentioning
oh,
that.
I thought you wanted me to answer that. Oh, all
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
Watch how brief my answer is because I'm not here to preach. When we speak about the mulatto global majority, we're speaking about the future generations of your family. Or, in other words, this divide that exists between mulattoes and blacks today is arbitrary. And I feel like once the blacks realize that their great 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 grandkids, maybe their grandkids will be mulattoes, there will be less hatred and venom and animosity towards the mulattoes. With all due respect,
I have mixed kids. My wife is white.
What?
much love to your mulatto family, brother.
I mean, but I don't see what
Wow.
he is saying wrong because, like, I mean, I don't see what he's saying is wrong. Jay said
Well,
we're
it's
all
all
human, but like
there's
Mulatto said, yes, just like all the other animals, they're all animals, but there's mixed breeds of each animal. I mean, and then we're all mixing. I mean, and then the question is, are you really for black people? Okay, so like you guys said, if Mulatto just admitted that if you're mixed and you got that mind frame that you're both, you kind of being disingenuous when you come on a panel and saying I'm black, because really you're both and you have both within you. So if we grow and
Exactly.
then 20 years later, if we get 20 years later from now, right, when our children, Jay and our children get older, um they're going to have this, how can they be straight pro black if they're both? I mean, this, it is an interesting conversation, and like, and what HQ said is, how does we fix it? Maybe we should just stop mixing. Now, I told y'all I'm pro segregation anyway. I think we need to go back how we were so we can build up our community. But if we keep mixing, we're not building up our community. We're spreading it out, which is weakening it. So I mean, I don't see
Tyranny,
nothing wrong with what
tyranny,
he
there's
said.
about 1,000 more issues we need to worry about before we worry about the small portion of people mixed racing. There's a
We're all mixed
thousand
races.
more things. I'm talking about within the black community. There's
Mhm.
about 1,000 more issues we need to address before we even get to people going outside of the race.
But how can we build up each other if we're bringing in everybody else? Honestly, I was
That-
outstanding to know that Asians and black people were mixing. We're two
Yes.
completely
Yes.
different cultures.
Wherever
no,
there's
they,
military, you're gonna get
what?
that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know what
okay.
you're talking about. I see
In
it all the
Africa,
time.
the Chinese, I
And
think the
Chinese is
Chinese have
all over in Africa
all
and
over in
Japanese.
Africa, and you
Well,
gonna pick,
at first it
off of
started off as business, so, but I didn't know they were mixing their children. The people were
Well,
having sex and having
like
children
like
down there.
Ann
Hey,
said, when they get around,
look, whenever there's D and P in the
Oh my
vicinity,
God!
whenever there's D and P, it don't matter what color they are. Proximity is the
California.
name of the game. That is
But do
it.
you see how that could be dangerous to our community? That's why their people don't like it either. That's why their families is like, no, you need to stick with your own, because it's diluting the coffee. It's
But tyranny,
diluting the
there's
coffee.
other things that we need to. I'm trying to emphasize this. There's like 1,000 other things we need to address way before we even get to any dilution. There's
What's
a
the number one thing
there's a
you think
there's
we
a
should
there's
address?
first family.
Oh, family.
It
Family is
don't
all about
family.
mixing. But
No,
if you,
no, 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 no,
uh-huh,
no, no, no.
uh-huh.
I'm talking about all the baby mamas and all the baby daddies out there that are in the black community.
Mhm.
It need to stop being baby mamas and baby daddies. We adopted those terms way too easily. It needs to be mothers and fathers.
And
It
may
needs
I
to
say
be
something
grandmothers and grandfathers.
to
And
Tyranny
it needs
point
to be
though?
a family unit. And I'm talking
Hold on, hold on.
Yes, brother. You're long winded, but my bad. Go ahead, brother.
for real.
So you're saying we need to change our vocabulary.
Wow.
Not only the vocabulary, that's a part of it that comes with it in conjunction with that, but the family structure within the black community needs to change. Then from there, finance needs to change and the way we look at finance.
Mm-hmm.
And then from finance and the family structure, then you grow generational wealth.
Right.
And with that, you do then in tangent with that, you do education.
But Jay, you do understand that there is only one race of people that's mostly in our way of doing that, right? For
Us,
one, when it comes to the family, the black man
us.
is the only one that can create that. We
No,
cannot,
us.
hold on, we cannot ask y'all to marry us, right? So you guys, the man is what creates husband and wife, mother and father, and not baby daddy, baby mama.
I
Then
said it
when it comes
earlier.
to education and finances, I heard black people talk about we shouldn't get no reparations. So yeah, maybe we are in the way of our own blessing, but there are structures that's placed in our communities to make sure that we don't get what they got.
It's an
You know,
it's an
I'm
excuse.
saying,
Tyranny. You're
That's
making
some
a
Um,
great
excuse,
point.
tyranny.
Okay, hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. Did you all hit the like button when you came in? You need to hit the
Super
like
chat
button,
and
please.
like.
Super chat and like, please. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Otherwise, we got the stream that has to end at 9 o'clock, and that's in 12 minutes. Because I
uh-oh.
support. We have to have support in order to continue the conversation and continue to have these chats that we do every day. That's why I have to cut my week down because I gotta have support. If I don't have
Mhm,
support, I cannot continue to do the channels and the panels. This is a good channel and a good panel right now. So
mhm.
hit the like button, hit the chat button, support the shows, please. Now, Tierney, you were saying.
That's yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was. I'm just saying the man is the reason for the lack of family structure. Because you guys are horny, and then when it comes to everything else, education and etc., if we stop mulattoing, we'll
No,
have what we actually need. I feel like.
tyranny, tyranny.
And
Do you
uh,
remember what I said in the beginning? You remember what I said? What drives our culture? What part of us drives our culture?
Mm-mm, I don't remember.
Our women drive our culture. When the women's criteria dropped and their standard dropped, they allowed the men's standard to drop. That's where the Pookie Ray Rays and Nug Nugs came from, and the baby
Do you
mamas,
know
baby
Steve
daddy
Harvey
stuff.
told us to drop our standards? Do you remember a
No, you don't.
multi-millionaire told us to?
No,
You
he
guys
look
tell
at
us we
him.
aim too
but
high.
Look
tyranny,
at
you
who
let
you're
him
talking
derail
about.
you.
Steve
Please let me say
Harvey.
this. Let
Okay.
me please
How
make
am I
one point.
derailing her?
I'll articulate it. Tyranny. With all due respect, I want to acknowledge a great point that you just made. You have to realize that when you speak about self-preservation within the black community, it's futile or it's pointless having this discussion with black men that have white wives because they will deflect and derail to every other issue in the black community other than the black man's lack of ability to practice endogamy, or in other words, to stay with the black woman. He will bring up every other issue on earth, and I'm neutral. What he's
Well,
saying actually benefits me
you
because
wouldn't
I'm a mulatto.
exist.
Yeah, I'm
Then you
neutral.
wouldn't exist.
Exactly. That's why I say you benefit me by creating more mulattoes. So thank you. But you
You
don't
ain't my
benefit the
son.
blacks. But you don't benefit the blacks though.
You ain't
Checkmate.
my son. How do I
Your
not
son not
benefit
black.
blacks? This
Your
is the
son not black
topic.
like you.
Let's get back to the topic. My son
Well,
don't have to
let's
be
get
black.
back to the topic. Your
My
son
son don't
not
have
black
to be
like you.
black. I am. I'm the only man
Checkmate.
I need to. I'm the
That
only
means that you
man
bred
I need
yourself
to be
out, brother.
accountable for
That means you
myself.
bred yourself out.
When I'm gonna make my
Checkmate.
son a man, and my son's gonna be
And you
accountable for
bred the black
himself.
seed out.
I don't.
Bro,
Checkmate.
I'm not responsible for black seeds,
You
fam.
brother,
bred yourself out. That's Tyranny's
you
point. You bred
gaslighting,
yourself
brother.
out.
You
I didn't
gaslighting.
breed nothing out. I
Yeah, I
didn't
got you.
breed
You
anything
bred
out. I
yourself
had a
out, bro.
son.
You bred yourself out. You mixed with the whites. You created mulattoes. Thank you. We need more niggas like you. Pardon my language. We need more blacks
Don't
like
call
you.
me that. I'm not that. I'm a
We need
black
more
man.
like you.
But that's
All right, black man.
it's also with the when we do mix out, the man seed is really what goes financially when you speak about finances, right? See, if I mix with a Caucasian, women, we don't give in the money. We're not the providers. The man is. So if a black man and a black woman get together, the black man's finances is going into the black community. But when a black man and another race woman, whatever, doesn't matter, come together, he's giving his finances to that community. So that's another
Exactly.
way to build up our community, is to make sure it's going into our community.
He giving his money to that white woman. Keep it real.
Yo. Let me get in here 2 seconds. I gotta get out of here. Bro, you on this mixed breed Dr. Umar ish. You being real disingenuous, disrespectful, cutting off everybody. You need to relax and respect the
Brother,
platform. I've never.
pull your skirt
Hey, bro,
down,
I'm
brother.
still talking, dog.
Well,
I'm
pull your
still
skirt down,
talking.
brother.
I'm still talking. You so itchy to say something that you clearly got a chip. You clearly was getting a lot of wedgies in high school, and you got a
You
chip
said I was
against the
getting a lot
black
of
man.
women.
You clearly got a chip on your shoulder against the black man. And I understand it, but stop disrespecting
I
this
just bigged up the
panel.
black
The
man for
whole,
creating
bro,
more
I'm
mulattoes.
still talking. Can you stop? You so ready to, bro? Save that shit for the Logics and the Drakes who want to hear it. You over here, we
Well, you
talking
came up to
about
talk to me.
black culture. We talking about black culture. You disrespecting the host, the co-host, and everybody
Y'all
else who
talking about
keep
mulattoes, brother.
interrupting. You keep What, dude? Where is your community at? Where your cities at?
I'm
I
white.
don't. I don't
He
see
got
it.
mulatto.
I don't see it. Most mixed people I know say they black. So you got a
You
whole
got a
lot of work to
mulatto.
do.
Facts,
You
facts,
got a
facts.
whole lot of work to
But
do. Cause
he was
Even Drake say he black. You got a
They
whole
lying to you.
every mixed person I know.
Mhm.
Drake calls himself black,
They get
and if
money.
you ain't black, watch that N word. And every mixed person I ever met in my life say they black and they want to cling
They
to
do
the
it.
black side and they try to prove
Yeah, he
that they
shouldn't have
black
said.
enough to black people and we
He
don't
shouldn't
even
have said that N
care. We
word. I
don't
don't
But
even.
he
ask him
just
nothing.
admitted that they're saying it for money.
Yeah, they
You
get money from you.
Bro, this dude
you
clearly got a chip on his shoulder for black people. I don't never get up here and get to
I
yelling at
love
nobody.
blacks.
You the most disrespectful, disingenuous, snake-like dude I've ever seen
You and
on
your
this
feelings.
panel. I ain't in nothing. I'm coming here to check you because I'm
Tyranny,
You
you
being
tired
know,
of listening
emotional,
to
no,
the
bro.
Tyranny. Come on
disrespect.
but
now.
I
Ty,
wish you would get off the panel and let a good organic conversation continue before
but
you got up here and
but
you talking about they derailing, you're
You
derailing, you're
Yeah,
being
he
disrespectful,
derailed it.
you're being
you vent.
disingenuous, you trying to push this mixed breed forever, black people never bullshit ass agenda. You need to kick rocks and go get back in your platforms. For real. Respectfully,
okay, but
brother.
Jay, can he?
Respectfully, brother.
What
Get the fuck out
points
of
can
here.
you attack his points? What points is he
Yeah, he
saying that
emotional.
He
is
never
breathing?
attacked my points.
I'm not.
He tried
I'm
to
not emotional.
tyranny,
I'm irritated, and that's how I
tyranny.
do.
He
Stop
tried to
saying I'm
Oh,
discredit
you and
emotional.
your
me
feelings.
and my
Who
points.
are they feelings?
Tyranny, did he
You up
not?
here
Because I
disrespecting and
have a white
derailing
wife.
the show. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Take your ass
Because I
back to
Stop
the
didn't feel like
nation
crying.
I
of
didn't come.
mulatto. Go back to the nation of mulatto and
All right,
praise the
stop crying.
mulatto god or whatever the fuck you do.
Stop crying.
Okay, Jay,
Nigga,
Get
fuck
him,
I don't
Ty.
you,
think he was trying
mixed
to attack your
motherfucker.
wife. I think he was just
No, he
saying,
would. No, I didn't say my wife. I said he was attacking me because I have a white wife and
No,
I have
I
mixed
bigged
kids.
you up for
I'm
creating more
talking to
mulatto.
I'm talking to tyranny.
I
I'm
bigged you
talking
up.
to tyranny, bro. I'm talking to
All
tyranny,
right,
bro.
get out your feelings. Go ahead.
If you can say that all you want to. You're not gonna get under my skin, man. It's just, I mean, when people watch this, they're just gonna look at you and say, "Why don't this dude just shut up?" That's what they're gonna say. Because
Actually, the chat love it.
I'm trying to have a genuine conversation,
Okay.
right? And I'm asking tyranny, what did I say that was wrong about what needs to be fixed in the black community, the community that I came from? What did I say that was wrong?
no, I don't think you said anything that was wrong, but but you didn't say nothing that was wrong. If we talked about the solution, I think when he started talking about the solution, that's when it's like, oh, I don't agree with the solutions,
No, but
and that,
he's coming
mhm.
from his like a very skewed perspective of only pan mulattoism.
So
We're not talking about
mhm.
mulattoes on here, tyranny. We were
Okay.
talking that the question is, can a black person be pro-black if they marry or have children outside of the race? We weren't talking about can a mulatto person be pro-black. That wasn't the question. Pan mulattoism came
You
in
live a pro mulatto lifestyle, brother.
and derailed the conversation. And the word mulatto has been said about 1,000 times since he came up. We're not talking about that. We're talking
And
about pro-black and in the black community. And you
Right.
asked me, tyranny, to think, and I said there's so many different things that need to happen before we even adjust race mixing that need to happen within the black community.
Right.
And Mr. Pan Mulatto tried to discredit me because he said, see, this is what brothers like this, they don't even deserve to talk about it because they married outside the race. That's what
it's the
he did.
truth.
So now this is his stance that I can't be pro-black. And this is back to the topic. He's saying I can't be. This mixed race man is telling me I can't be pro-black because I married a white woman to have
You're
mixed
pro
race.
mulatto.
You see what I'm saying,
Respectfully.
tyranny? So this is what we're talking about. So okay, that's his stance. I don't agree with it, but
Your
that's his
lifestyle
stance.
proves it, brother.
He
You
So
knows
didn't
because
make black kids, you made
he knows my
mulattoes.
lifestyle, because he knows my entire
You made
lifestyle.
mulattoes.
yeah, but he's a black man. It's not a matter of just because he mixed children, that doesn't mean he can't be pro-black. He can still be proud to be black. What do you mean? You making it sound as though
Hey,
because
Ty, bro, my
somebody
son
has
is
a
mixed.
mixed child,
He didn't
because
reproduce himself though. He made more mulattoes.
I don't need to
for what?
reproduce myself. I
So that
am
means he's
me.
pro mulatto.
No,
Respectfully.
hold on, Jay, hold on, Jay. That does not mean you're pro mulatto. Does that mean you're
It
pro
does.
mulatto? No, it doesn't. That it means you just had mixed children. Has nothing to do with pro mulatto, pro this, pro that. It would be a different story if you hated yourself and you mixed with different race, and then you said, I can't stand my race. I want to make some kids that ain't like me. That's not what Jay said. That's not what Tyranny said. So therefore, you can't say that at all. You
No,
don't
I'm
have
saying he
no,
increased the.
hold on. Don't overtalk me. Don't overtalk me. You cannot say that because Tyranny came up here specifically and said she is pro-black and she has mixed children. That has nothing to do with it. Jay came up here and said he's pro-black and they have mixed children. Just because a person has mixed children doesn't mean they're not proud to be who they are. You're making it seem as though these people are not proud of who they are. And then they just went out and made mixed children because they wanted to dilute their line, as you say. That's not the case.
Well,
You
that's not
don't.
what I'm saying. What I'm
Yes,
saying
it
is
is
they
what you're
increased the
saying.
mulatto
Hold on,
population.
hold on. That is what you're saying. You're saying
You
that.
just gonna lie on me?
That is what you're saying. You said that.
That's not.
You said that. You said that. So that's what I'm listening to. You said that. They made mulatto. He's pro mulatto. Nobody said anything about being pro mulatto. Now, we have to have a discussion. It cannot be your thought processes that run over them. They have their own thought process. They understand how they feel, how they felt when they married somebody that was of a different race. They understand why they did that. That doesn't mean that we're pro anything other than what they are, which is pro black. I get it. You think it's different. You are pro mulatto. Great. Be pro mulatto, sir. But don't put that branding on anybody else except yourself. That's it. Please. Thank you.
Brief. My response is, Jay, we'll use him for instance. Did he increase the mulatto population or the black population? With all due respect, crickets. Checkmate. The point is, Jay contributed to mulatto empowerment, whether he wants to admit it or not. He did not. He did not contribute to the black empowerment, the population increase of blacks. No, he did not. He chose to create more mulattoes, and I respect him for that. Keep up the great work.
Okay. I say okay, okay, I'm okay, Jay, hold on. I say okay to that, mulattoes. I say okay to that. What else is your response?
Yes, my response to you mischaracterizing me, or
No,
because it was
no,
a number.
no. What you said was Jay made or he contributed to more mulatto people. That's what you said, right? And I said, so how does that change him being black and being proud to be black? So
Do you want me to answer that? Or you gonna mute me?
I didn't mute you. I got you off mute right now.
Yeah, you definitely muted me, but I'll answer that. So he had the choice to procreate with a black woman to contribute to black empowerment. He chose not to. He chose a white woman to create mulatto babies and contribute to the mulatto empowerment. Much respect to him for that. He's increasing the power and the strength of my people group. So I
But
respect
I'm
him a lot for
saying,
that.
so,
So he could have done this for his own race, which is the blacks, but he chose not to.
but that doesn't mean he's not pro black. How does that mean he's not pro black?
Well, it means that he contributed to the empowerment of mulattoes more than the blacks.
Oh, absolutely, I get that. But why does
Yes,
that? What
yes.
does that have to do with him being not pro black or pro black?
So if the choice was to create more mulattoes or create more blacks, he chose to create more mulattoes. That means he was pro mulatto,
Yeah, but he had
respectfully.
the choice to do either or.
And he chose not to create more blacks, correct?
Yeah, but
All
he
right.
could also decide to make he can also decide to go back and then make all black children.
My
And that
God,
has
it
yet
could
to
work.
and that has yet to be seen, correct?
But we don't know that. We don't know whether that could be the truth or not. It's you
But he
see,
hasn't done it.
no,
Ooh, ooh,
hold
ooh,
on,
Pan,
hold
do
on.
you have
So
Pan?
this
Do
is
you
what
have children? Man, do you
Yes,
have
brother.
children?
Yes. First intelligent
With
question you asked me.
okay, yeah, ad hominems. Okay. Um,
Yes.
do
Yes.
you not realize what you're doing is very feminine? If I'm trying to have a genuine conversation with you and
Let's have a
ask you a
dialogue,
genuine
brother.
question,
Let's have a
but
dialogue.
you do the cutoff thing and you do the ad hominem stuff. You can take the
Well,
shots. I don't care. It's not going to get under my skin. But
all right.
I'm
So
still trying to have a
let's have a
genuine
dialogue.
conversation
What
with you.
what is your question? You said, do I
Do you
have
have
children?
children?
Yes. Let me shout my 3 kids out. They're adults
Is
now,
it
but yeah, much love to them.
is your the mother of your children, is she mulatto as well?
I have 3 children's mothers. I don't say baby mothers. That's such a disrespectful term. But all of my baby mothers are mulattoes. Much love to my
What?
mulatto baby mothers. I love them all.
Really?
Wow.
Are we being clowned
Wow.
right now?
What am
Wait
I
a minute,
listening to?
hold
All right,
on,
he's
wait a minute,
trolling now.
wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna call you
Yes.
out. I think you're lying. I think you're lying, but then that's just
All
me.
right.
I think you're lying. You got 3 baby
All
mamas
right.
and they all mulatto. I think you're lying. My whole point is
Oh,
this: how would
all
you
right.
even come on here and say that? So the whole point. Wait a minute.
He asked
Well,
me.
all right, all right. I'll
He
accept
asked
that.
me.
Look, I keep
All right.
forgetting. I keep forgetting this internet got all types of cuckoo birds on it. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. Go ahead on, sir. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
yeah, yeah,
It's
brother. I'm
my fault.
listening. What's your question, though, brother? I'm listening.
That's it. That's the only question I had, man.
Yes, and not
Shout
only,
out to you and the baby.
and I'll lay my plane with this. Not only is all my children's mothers mulattoes, I moved my children's mothers and all 3 of my children. They grown now, but I moved them to a mulatto Wakanda. I raised them in Puerto Rico. All their teachers look just like them. All their classmates look just like them. This is a fact. When we go to the grocery market, everybody look like them.
So you really think you better than black people?
Well, who told you that?
I don't know. I'm asking now.
That might be your insecurity speaking. I say nothing about being better than
No
blacks. No.
insecurity here, honey. None,
All right.
none
So
whatsoever.
what would
None.
lead you to believe that?
I don't know. Just the way you talk.
And so if a black person said he
Just the way
moved
you
his
come across. I don't know. I don't know. It's just
well,
the way
but
you
let me
come
ask you.
across.
So let me ask you a question. If a black man said he moved his black baby's mothers and black children to a black city, does that mean he's better than that? Does that mean he believes he's better than mulattoes?
No, no, they
All
ain't
right
gonna
then.
say that.
So why would I
I'm
say that?
saying
That means I think I'm better
you.
than blacks.
I'm saying you
Yes, but what led you to that
come
though,
across
sis?
as that. You come
No, I
across as
heard you,
that.
but I'm saying what led you to that conclusion?
I don't know. Just something about it.
Oh, all right, all right.
I'm just now. Now you starting to color in the background to me. You came up here to defend mixed race and
Yes, yes.
mottos.
Yeah, I stand up for my people at all costs. Yes.
And my whole point is, you speak with such authority and such reverence about mulattoes. I tend to think that
Yes.
maybe you think you're better than either one of your races.
Well, can I ask you, if a black person had reverence for the black
Breed
race,
or
does
not
that
a
mean?
breed. Women, it comes across as you think you're a better breed or more distinguished breed or something to that effect.
No, I get your point.
Wrong. I could be wrong.
Now, if a black man say he has reverence for the black race, does that mean that he thinks he's better than
And I would have
mulattoes?
said the same thing to him too.
All right. Well, I'm not responsible for, with all due respect, your ignorance. No, I just have
Ain't no
racial
ignorance
pride.
about it. I know where you at. I got you now.
Yes, I have racial pride and dignity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a superiority complex over anyone. No, I don't.
Mm,
But I
mm.
believe that it's best, and I wanted to touch this point earlier. I think it's best. No, I know it's best from experience that mulattoes have mulatto communities to grow up in, so that we don't have an identity crisis of trying to fit in with the blacks or the whites. No,
Well,
we are not
you're
either
always gonna have
one.
that problem. You're always gonna have that problem because there's never going to be enough of you all to go around like that.
In
There's
Puerto
never
Rico, it is though. In Puerto Rico, it is. With all due respect.
Puerto Rico.
Yes, I live in Puerto Rico. Also, the Dominican Republic is a majority mulatto. You
Yeah, but
have
ain't
nations.
them like 3-4 blocks a piece long and big? I mean,
No,
what
actually, it's millions of people. I'm glad you asked that. It's millions of people in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. But also, you have
all
nations such
mixed
as,
like that? But then y'all get treated unfairly. Y'all get treated less than when you go to Puerto Rico.
well, with all due respect, blacks can't tell mulattoes how we get treated. With all
No,
due
I'm
respect, you
saying
can't tell me how I
I
get
talk
treated.
to Passport Bro. I talk to Passport Bro. So I'm just saying what they say. Maybe it's a
I was
different
I
language.
was
I don't know.
today years old when I found out that black and white equal Puerto Rican.
No, black and white equals mulatto, and the majority of Puerto Ricans are mulattoes. You have to educate yourself before you speak, brother. Respectfully.
Mm.
What you said to
Respectfully.
Puerto Rican?
Okay,
You said
hold
you
You have
called
to,
it the
you have to,
mulatto
you have to
Wakanda.
educate yourself before you speak, brother.
You said
hold on.
I understand all the stuff you're saying. You just sound
Yes, you have to
very, I
educate
mean,
yourself,
just
brother.
weird, bro.
Exactly.
You
All right.
sound very weird,
But you
man.
created mulattoes, brother, so you agree with me, right?
Yeah,
We
sure.
have that in common, right?
As long as my son is nothing
He's
like
a
you, and
mulatto.
I
Yes,
raise him
he's
to
a
be
mulatto.
a real masculine
If your
man,
son was like me, he would have proud in being mulatto.
Mr.
Checkmate.
Malak,
Yes, ma'am.
give me your final thoughts, sir. Final
Yes, ma'am.
thoughts.
Much love to the panel. I love you all. And I want to big up Jay for creating more mulattoes and contributing to the mulatto empowerment and the global mulatto majority. And
free
thanks for
baby
having me
mamas.
up. Much love to you all. Mulatto supremacy. Much
Thank you.
love, family.
Man, go get a vasectomy, please.
Jay.
HQ, that's your fault. That's your fault, HQ.
I thought there was gonna be I thought it was gonna be I don't know what the hell I thought it was gonna be, but
You be letting a lot of stuff go,
see look,
man.
I told you I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting.
I found out last time God took my hair. What was
I
that dude's
keep
name? That's why
Jay,
God took your hair.
wait. I keep forgetting there's always
Oh.
hey, all kinfolk ain't skinfolk, or the
He, I
skinfolk
mean,
ain't
he,
kinfolk. Look. And it's like, look, I get what you're saying. We get what you're saying. You just it's tunnel vision. It's got to be tunnel vision on his part. I kept trying to explain to him what you're talking about doesn't matter. It's will be we will be dust and bones
dust in the
before any
wind.
of that happens. So we can't worry about that. We have other fish to fry first. Why worry about something that may or may not occur? He keeps saying, well, it's going to be a mixed nation. We're all going to be mixed. Okay, great, fine. It's not, I can't even worry about that because I'm not going to be here. So what about the situation right now? What side are you standing on? What are you doing? But it's always got to be something else. So I guess our fault, my fault. I thought it was going to be something else. It wasn't something else. Did you all hit
I
the
could
like
have told
button?
you that. I could have told you that an hour ago. HQ, when he came on, he had his point. Okay, the mulatto, as soon as he started going into it, you say, okay, respectfully, we're talking about the black community right now. We're not talking about mulatto Wakanda. So I'm gonna just go ahead and drop you off the panel. Thank you for coming up.
That's wild.
That's it. Because we weren't talking about that.
I know.
I'm trying, like what our sister Natural KRC says. Solution based.
Wow.
I'm trying
Solution.
to be solution based.
Yes. We're going to have
That's
to have
where a
this
real leader
conversation
comes
again.
from.
We're going to have a conversation again. I think we should have this conversation on Wednesday again. But then this is when a lot of people came in today, but I'm talking about a lot of women, a lot of people on the conversation, maybe a specific target, maybe, I don't know. Right. Send me an email. Maybe we can have this conversation again on Wednesday, but a different side of it.
We had a whole bunch of different numbers. We didn't even get. We got. I mean, you hit on number 6 a little bit, but
Yeah,
then
but I
we
know
pretty
we
much
go.
stayed on
First of
number
all, we got
1 the whole time.
First of all, we got Darrell, we got Tierney up here. Then we went down the rabbit hole of Raquel. Then we got this guy who jumped on and he was like, "Can we look?" That was a whole hour and a half. You believe that? That was half the show. Fooling with that. Fooling with that. But anyway, give me your final thoughts, sir, and I'll figure out what we can do again if we could actually have a different conversation.
Hey, first of all, love who you love,
Right.
regardless. Okay,
Right.
because you only get one go at this, as far as we know. So love who you love,
Ain't that what I said?
regardless.
Ain't that
Yeah,
what I
okay.
said?
And for the brothers out there, I appreciate y'all brothers who love to stay in y'all masculine frame. Ty Pro, Lex, G Honda, Black America, Zeus, Aaron, when we get up here and we don't agree with each other, we don't over talk. I love y'all brothers, man. You can get up here and have a nice conversation without doing all the nonsense. I really appreciate that. Even though we have some heated discussions, everybody come back around and be like, you know what? I see what you're saying. I love that, man. I love y'all brothers.
And I
And I
just want
appreciate you, HQ.
I just want to say, me speaking, I wasn't speaking in terms of me or myself when it came to, I think her name was Crystal Luna. I think I was on a panel with her once or twice. And I understood where the crash out came. I think I was there when the crash out came that final time. I think I did, right? So I was just trying to articulate because we don't have her to articulate it. I made assumptions, I guess. I don't know. I can sort of see why. Not that it makes sense, but it's something there. I mean, it's something that need to be explored. On their part, they need to explore why they feel that hostility, because it is a hostility. I can feel it. I felt it when I was on the panel. So I was just trying to articulate what that was on her part, and maybe she, at one particular point, she'll try to do it, make a conversation. I mean, that would be an interesting conversation. The women on Wednesday. Oh wow. Yeah, let's okay. It was men up here and tyranny. Wednesday. Maybe it needs to be the women on the hot seat. Maybe we feel this way. Why do y'all feel this way? When y'all see a mixed lady do this, that, and the third, or whatever. Why do we have issues like that? But anyway, I gotta come up with that.
And Divine Photos and Postman. I don't want to forget about y'all two brothers too.
Yes. Thank you all for coming up. Look, the channel needs support. We need more support than what we are getting. We need at least $20 per hour. We need $5 cash apps, $2 cash apps. We need all of these things in order to keep the show going. I have to cut down my week in order for us to continue doing the show. Otherwise, we cannot continue to do You Were Gaslighting. I don't know about that. Yes, these conversations are hard to have. We get it. We do. I thank you all for the 2 super chats I got. I got the Erica's Corner. Thank you. Supporting the show. Thank you, ma'am. $5. Thank you. And Jay's $13.99. Let's get it on. Thank you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes and all that good stuff. Please come around. Tomorrow, we have tea day. Do they need a cup of coffee? Can they have a cup of coffee? And we have the noun game got solved by Mariah. Saturn 9, man. It got solved by that person. And the answer was Molly. So we have a new game coming out tomorrow, game 7. Y'all, please stay tuned for the game 7 tomorrow. That will be the headline tomorrow morning. Sometime I will make that one. But tune in tomorrow. Please Cash App, share. You guys got to turn your notifications on, so you will be notified when there's new content, a new show, a new whatever that comes down the pike. Please and thank you very much. Thank you all. Easy to have other than the host being biased against me. Pan-melodism. What is you talking about? What? Actually, this conversation was relatively easy to have other than the host being biased against me and muting me because you were talking. You kept talking. You would not let anybody else talk. You kept talking over me. And I hate when people talk over me because I had to say, hold on. But the whole point is, don't overtalk me and I won't mute you. Can't overtalk other people and I won't mute you. That's just it. We will have a similar discussion on Wednesday with the ladies. Hopefully similar, not the same, but similar on Wednesday. Turn on your notifications so you will be informed of what we have going on. We have the coffee show tomorrow. We have the mail show tomorrow. We have the married letters on Tuesday, I think. And then we have the women's show on Wednesday. So please tune in. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you guys. You know that.